Always remember.
Hello there, General Kenobi. Say it back, and welcome back to the Determined Focus podcast. I don't know what number episode this is. I did not do my homework, but I can look right now. I can look right now.
It's in the 60s, right?
It's got to be. Yeah, my guess is, all right, should we all guess? I think it's 65.
Imagine if it was 66. It'd be crazy. It'd be insane.
I think it's 65, but I could be so.
Did you number the last one?
Hold on. Grayson might have cooked.
Mm-hmm.
This is 66.
Oh, wow, baby!
No Sith, baby.
Wow. Welcome back to Determined Focus Order 66.
That's crazy.
It's pretty awesome. Hey, you know us. We don't need to introduce ourselves. We probably, I don't know. We have a guest with us. We have Lord Dagavir. Introduce yourself. What do you do? What are you on? All those things.
Hello, friends. Yes, I come from the Dark Temple, John Droman Cos, baby.
What, can I say the thing? Can I say the thing?
Absolutely, please.
Ready up.
Ready up.
Dude,
love that. That is such good energy, guys. But anywhere Lord Dagavir, you'll see my silly face getting super excited and reacting about Star Wars and probably yapping about Sith Lords and stuff and glup shitos. Yeah, you know how it is, baby. This is how we do it here. Let's go.
The tent poles of Star Wars, Sith Lords and glup shitos.
That's it.
Always.
No Jedis, just those two. But yeah, no, dude, you do great stuff. Thank you for coming on. You're
Thank
really
you guys
positive.
for having me. Thank you for acknowledging me. I appreciate you guys so much.
Of course, man. Yeah, if you guys aren't following and plugged into his stuff, seriously, go check it out. You stream Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern?
Yes, correct? Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern time, yes.
Yeah. Streams are really fun. They get into a lot of cool, just like fun questions and stuff. Again, if you're deep into lore, like all of us are, it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, definitely. I've also worked in some production too, which I can't talk about yet. But that's also some stuff that I've also been slowly exposing my fandom to. So,
yeah. Okay. All right. Vague.
How cryptic, sir.
Yeah. Well, that's exciting. That's cool. Before we get started, we're going to talk about a bunch of stuff. I just, because I don't think I know this. Obviously, you have Revan on your tee, but little icebreaker question. Who is your favorite Sith or Sith Lord?
Jesus, man, I feel like that's like 3-hour conversation. But I mean, the OG.
You have 15 seconds.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Lord Vader, Darth Malachus, Revan, and I think Traya. I think that's it. I'm so sorry.
Wow. He made a Mount Rushmore for himself.
Yeah, you have to pick one.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, that's usually how it is. It really depends on like how I'm feeling during the week. If I want to listen to nonsense from Traya and all of her ramblings, or Malachus is such a good character, man. Those Star Wars Old Republic MMO cinematics, gets me every time, baby. So I really miss a lot of that energy. But yeah, can't go wrong with Vader as well.
No Bane love, bro. No Bane love.
I love Bane. Bane it's like if you can't love Revan without loving Bane, especially Path of Destruction. Especially Path of Destruction. Sheesh.
I dig it. I dig it. Let's get you with the chat here before we get into the bulk of stuff, because we have quite a bit to talk about. We got Cole, Focus 3. Need to catch this on hologram. Not enough hours in the rotation. Wow. Well, hey, we will. This is us from the past, the present, currently, but you know, more past. Thanks for being here. We got Sunny, Focus number 9. I remembered. It's been a while. Which, by the way, sorry that I was gone last week. I was out of town. Will and the fine folks at Virtual Cantina Network talked about Bunta, which was fun. Which, by the way, Bunta and Rebel Scum Con Year 3 coming up real soon.
Real soon.
Like never mind. We got I Am Rolling, Bushkadoo. I feel like that's Will, you gotta say the whole Bushkadoo thing.
Bushkadoo.
There you go.
That's pretty sick.
James, shout out to James repping the Determined Focus hat at the Mall Shadow Lord panel at Anaheim Fan Expo over the weekend.
James where? Who's James? Is that his real name?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. I was like,
Yeah.
who's James?
James?
I was like, the mythical James.
Mythical James.
That's actually sick. That's really cool. A lot of our friends met Mark Hamill. Pretty crazy.
Wow.
Yeah.
Sick.
Pretty crazy. Yeah.
Connor was sitting right next to James at the Mall Shadow Lord panel.
Oh, really?
Wow.
Like sitting right next to him. And
That's crazy.
They got to watch the whole thing. It was a blast.
Okay, by the way, whoever's out there, I don't know who you are, identify yourself if you are watching live. Connor DM'd me and said that, like, he went up to Connor from Beyond the Dune Sea, and was like, hey, are you crazy for Determined Focus? Which, if you don't remember,
so funny.
We did a whole thing about rivalries back from May 4th about how we're like doppelgangers or whatever. But it was so funny. It's just like ridiculous.
It's hilarious.
We got, let's see, we got Star Wars Insight, 007. Dude, Insight, you've been doing some good stuff lately.
He's been crushing it.
I've been seeing you, and I acknowledge you.
His books post today of like, if you like this, you'll like this was pretty good.
Yeah, I love that stuff.
Nice.
I ball
That's
knowledge.
so good.
Who is this guy? Get him out of here.
Whoa, what?
Who the hell is that?
Let's see. We got Connor.
Hey.
Not the same Connor I was just talking about. Different Connor. This Connor's with a C. This profile.
voice.
This picture cracks me up, bro. It's so funny.
Yeah, always.
It's just so silly. Let's see. We got Matthew Green, Focus 17, reporting in. Oh gosh, Jacob, what are you saying now? Okay. I'm so glad that Will and Grayson have given me the perfect opportunity to share my Ochi and Mara team-up fan fiction. I'll send all 100 chapters in the comments.
I'm sorry? Hello?
God.
You know what? Prove it.
Yeah. Let's
Prove
let
it.
it begin. Don't use ChatGPT. I'll dox you. I'm just kidding. Oh, you good, Will?
I'm back.
Okay.
I'm not gonna lie. Last night at 4 a.m., everything in the neighborhood shut off. There was a huge power outage, and we did not get power back at the house until like 3 hours ago. So I'm really hoping that Wi-Fi works, because like stoplights were down and stuff, and it was just fantastic. So if I freeze up, I am without power. I am not readied up, as you say.
It won't be my fault this time.
Ready down.
I'm ready down.
We can stop the allegations towards me about me having bad Wi-Fi and like stuff like that. Mine's been great. Mine's been awesome lately.
And just get mad at the state of Colorado for however they do their electricity.
Yeah.
Damn.
Let's see. Let me zoom through here. We got Noah. I miss you, buddy. Let's see. Marley. Everyone quiet. My show is on. Mount Rushmore Sith. I think we've done this before, but we could always we might be able to run this back with the resident Sith expert of the Dark Temple on Roman Cos.
I'd be fine with that.
That'd be a fun little thing just to get some input here. Let's see. We got Limitless Nerd. Can't wait to meet the race. Dude, is that gonna happen?
Yeah, it is. And if it doesn't, I'm gonna sink Australia. I'm sinking
crazy.
it. I'm gonna stand on one side and jump and flip it like a table, and the whole thing.
You're gonna use the Sun Crusher to remove the stars, but just so you can destroy Australia, not Earth itself. We all know that Australia has its own individual sun, after all. So we're all going to Dave and Buster's. Yeah, I guess, man. Just kidding.
Damn. I've not been there in a while.
to Dave and Buster's. Yeah, there's a whole. I think they do on one of the evenings. They do like a big like communal like Dave and Buster's thing. Like all the guests and celebrities get to go hang out, and it's a lot of fun. Everyone, nobody get in my way. I'm going to the Star Wars arcade thing, and you can't stop me. Okay. Anyway. Okay. Last thing. Will has threatened to sink a continent, and Grayson has threatened to dox me not even 10 minutes into the stream.
It's all look. This is like Joker with the two boats in Dark Knight. Hannah knows what she has to do.
Wow.
This is This is it.
Crazy.
Oh my god.
Some men just Australia.
That's a crazy throwback. Well, Grayson, which arcade are you talking about? The joystick one that has the original trilogy?
So it would technically be called Star Wars Battle Pod, I think. The original arcade one is great because that's the one that has the Vader fight with the lightsaber.
Yes, I love that one.
Yeah, that one I watched a whole video on that. That's a great arcade system. But no, the one that I'm thinking of is Battle Pod, which came out in 2015 or so.
Okay.
And there's
okay.
There's a bonus level in that game, which I've always wanted to play. So you go through original trilogy stuff. Obviously, you do, your Death Star 1 and 2, your Battle of Hoth, all of that stuff. I think there's 4 levels. But there's a bonus level where you get to play as Vader after the Death Star explodes and get to wipe out a bunch of rebels in the TIE Advanced. And it's near the red gas giant of Yavin. And he's and I'm like, dude, I want to play that. That sounds sick.
Like a party.
Yeah,
baby.
It's sick. Maybe Vader getting his get back. But also, one other thing, speaking of Star Wars video games, the reason I was also gone last week is because I was actually hanging out with Jacob. We were playing Shadows of the Empire. I'm making a video on that soon.
Whoa.
We were playing it on N64 because I'm reading the book right now. I'm a little over halfway through the book. But anyway, we were playing the game. But then he was telling me that either Rogue Squadron 1 or Rogue Squadron 2 has a Dark Empire level. I never
know that.
I didn't know that either, but you're fighting the is it the World Destroyers?
The Devastators?
The Devastators. Yes, you're taking out World Devastators as Wedge.
Holy shit. That's crazy.
Yeah, it's sick.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
That is so cool.
I
may have to just emulate that or something because that's crazy.
I was I think it's the one on it was Rogue Squadron for the N64, you fight the World Devastators. Yeah. Crazy.
Wow.
I was and then he told me about in the second game, you go to Geonosis and you crash and you find an old Aether Sprite, a Delta 7 Aether Sprite, and fight the Imperial Remnant as Wedge in a Jedi Starfighter.
What the flip?
Yeah, I'm dude, these games were going crazy, man.
Yeah, let's just say, I wasn't allowed to play video games when I was younger, so I missed out on so many. But oh my god, where's the lore video about that? I mean, that's what the flip.
I've never
read that.
I've never heard about any of that stuff. It's I want more Star Wars video games to do. I mean, do stuff like that. That's just cool. But it's also fun when you're obviously thinking about the EU and how much they were I think Thrawn made his first visual appearance in TIE Fighter, which was really cool.
That's correct. Yeah.
So, but anyway, I'm derailing the conversation. Will, what are we talking about first?
Well, we are how many weeks away from the most recent Star Wars movie, and the next Star Wars movie that comes out will be in 2027. That will be Star Wars Starfighter. And as you may have seen from the thumbnail, there is a certain red-headed actress who will be in that movie. And people think whether they are correct or not, when they see somebody with red hair, that it is Mara Jade.
Oh, it has to be, surely.
It's Mara Jade, guys.
Guys,
She's got red hair.
Okay. I think
Sadie
about like
Sink is playing Mara Jade in Spider-Man Brand New Day. She's got red hair.
Dude,
That's crazy.
Oh, there it is.
Oh my god. Dude, okay. The amount of like I can think about like the amount of photoshops I've seen of live action Mara Jade in the past 2 decades has been on an astronomical level. There was I have seen Bryce Dallas Howard, which actually would be very funny. I have seen Jessica Chastain. I have seen who plays Nebula. It's
from Doctor Who. I can't remember.
Yes. Karen Gillan.
Yeah.
I've seen her.
I saw a couple Emma Stones for a while.
Yeah. Lately I've been seeing a lot of Ana de Armas's for some reason. There's a bunch of these AI slot videos where it's her with red hair, and I'm like, okay.
Jesus Christ.
It's just so stupid. And now, of course, and I remember I did see Amy Adams once back in the day. And hey, listen, I'm not gonna front and say that Amy Adams wouldn't make a great Mara Jade. I'm sure, especially like in her like prime, like when she was a little bit younger, like I think she would have been great. But
he's got red hair.
Ron Weasley as Mara Jade.
Oh man.
Cal Kestis as Mara Jade. Just
okay. Yeah.
That's just
Emma Stone's interesting. I think that's an interesting one. I actually love her as an actress. I'm not sure he would. This Mara Jade stuff is interesting. I feel like it's been going on for years, and I heard about the potential of that in Starfighter, and I don't know, guys. I don't know.
It doesn't. Okay, the reason why I'm hesitant to say Mara Jade, it would be weird for Mara Jade to be in Starfighter, is because if we think about it timeline wise, Starfighter is is it 5 years after Rise of Skywalker?
I think so, 6, I think. Yeah.
Okay. So roughly 35 years after the original trilogy. Okay. After the end of Return of the Jedi. All right. So roughly, let me do my math correctly. That's like 39, 40 ABY. All right. Mara Jade is, I don't know how old she's supposed to be by the time of Heir to the Empire. I would assume in her early 20s, around the same age as Luke.
Yeah, they're around the same age.
Yeah. She might be like a year or two older or something like that. But if you're doing the math there, Amy Adams is Amy Adams in her 40s or 50s?
She's like 53 or something.
Okay. Even if her real life age, she does not look 53. Let's be
absolutely
real.
not.
Like she looks like.
Yeah, no, she does not.
No. Okay, Mark Hamill was in his. Is he in his 70s right now? 60s or 70s?
Yeah.
He was playing a 50-year-old and some change Luke Skywalker in The Last Jedi. All right. Obviously, looking like a pretty rough 50, you know? Like
Tatooine Sons, bro.
Yeah, it's rough. That's what it does to all of them. But I'm like, in what world how would that timeline make sense? Unless you just don't okay, here's the thing, is if you introduce Mara Jade in that point in the timeline, you're automatically going to make anybody who loves that character mad, because everybody just wants to see her in the time period that she's from. It would be like them, let's say we never got Thrawn and Rebels and stuff, and it's like they came out with a movie and they're like, oh, Thrawn is here now, and you're like, after all of this, that it's just like a weird, or it would be like Revan, but like Revan 1,000 years before, and as opposed to 5,000 years before, sort of thing. You're just kind of like these weird okay, I get, but it would just be a weird twist on the whole thing. I don't think she's Mara Jade at all.
I will say, obviously, there's people go red hair Mara Jade, but like there is the synopsis that came out that people were reading into of it being a little cheeky, of like the ending of it being like may alter the force forever. Hold on, I got it pulled up.
What?
So the official
Starfighter?
synopsis for Star Wars Starfighter is: in a rebuilding galaxy, a solitary pilot becomes entangled in a crucial mission as new threats emerge. Their journey may alter the future of the Force itself.
What the
Which is
flip?
like a bonkers final sentence. But if people really wanted to read into it for the Mara Jade of it all and like do the mental gymnastics of like, oh, that means it's Mara Jade, of like altering the Force itself as like a cheeky way to say Lucasfilm is going to use Mara Jade as like, because people for the longest, since her being in the books and stuff, people are like, oh, they're never going to use Mara Jade. There's an embargo on Mara Jade. No, they have a law that they can't use Mara Jade, which is like, whatever. We got Funko Pops this year, her lightsabers in the park, whatever you're talking about. But like, that may alter the future of the Force itself, being like the Force being Lucasfilm and altering being like, we're finally like Legends is back, which is like a weird way to look at it, which is the way I've seen it like described. However, I would love to know your guys' thoughts on that final phrase of may alter the future of the Force itself.
Crazy. So like Spock in Star Trek with J.J. Abrams. I mean, that's kind of crazy. I just can't ever see anything like that happening. I think that would be so, I don't know, interesting to say the least, but I don't know. I mean, I think that there's also just so many other characters that you can use. Why Mara Jade? Is it just someone that just looked up a YouTube video and saw Luke Skywalker had one of his several love interests with red hair and says like, oh yeah, it's gonna be this character. Yeah, man, it's gonna be this character.
It also, like, I wanted to bring up these two things. One, this is funny. HD GameTube said in the Mando and Grogu show said their mission will change the galaxy.
Yeah, that's also what I was thinking of when reading this. It's like, it'll change the fate of the galaxy forever. Like, no, it won't.
I was like, well, I guess you did nuke the entire Hutt castle, but
yeah.
Do you have any idea how hard it is to be your own man when Jabba the Hutt's your father?
You gotta be your own man.
But dude, yeah. He's his own man, all right? And then Jar Jar Jargon brought this up. He said, I hope and I wish the timeline works out perfectly with the kid being 14 years, and it was a 14, but it wouldn't make sense with Mara Jade's age is the problem.
Yeah, I guess if she's playing older, like maybe that makes sense. But also, like, I do think there's a weird, like, strangling that we all do of like, well, this is what the book said. Obviously, they would do that. Like, Supergirl that just came out is not really a lot like Woman of Tomorrow, like the comics. Like, they always do weird adaptations. I mean, the MCU's Civil War is not remotely close to the actual comics, other than two teams, Captain America, Iron Man, they fight. That's it. Like, that's kind of it. So if they wanted to just be like, well, Mara Jade is older, she's alive and has a kid, I don't know. I'm also like, with that comment too, would their kid also be named Ben, which would be crazy?
That would be insane.
Like, there's two kids named Ben, like they just can't think of a better name for cousins. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that would be.
Everybody is Ben.
It's like everybody's Jim Skywalker. It's like, I just don't think it will work.
Okay. Yeah. I found out
it would be interesting. Yeah, go on, Grayson.
I was just a small thing is that Mara Jade is actually 2 years younger than Luke Skywalker. So I don't really know if the way Amy Adams looks is enough for that to be like around her being this like 2 years younger than Luke Skywalker at his death, is like a weird thing.
Can I read the thing that she said on the podcast? Recently. Okay, so she was on Smartless podcast. I believe the episode was either posted yesterday or like last night or the day before. But they did ask her about Starfighter, which, before I talk about this, did you guys see her on the Tonight Show? Did you see that clip?
Was this a recent clip?
Yeah, it was a recent clip. She was on the Tonight Show, and Jimmy Fallon was like, there are rumors that you're going to be in the new Star Wars movie. And she was like, I can confirm I'm going to be in the new Star Wars movie. And everybody was like, whoa, but like she's listed in the cast.
Yeah,
like officially.
So that was
like,
definitely
just
a stage bit.
Yeah, that had to have been crazy. Yeah.
Like that was like, so we heard that the Star Wars movie is called Star Wars Starfighter. There's a rumor, right? It's like, no, they came out on stage and showed the logo. Like, we talk, Ryan Gosling wore a hat. Like, I don't get it. But to talk about the Smartless thing, it starts off, I had a very small part, is the first sentence. I love getting to see all of the props, and I went to the creature shop twice. Yeah, it's so cool. I mean, I'll talk about this, I'm sure, down the road, but like, I don't know what I'm allowed to talk about, but I was so nervous the first day of working. Like, I forgot how to act. I'm sure Sean Levy's like, Amy, are you okay? And I'm like, no, I'm just not. All right. I'm on a Star Wars set. And I'm like, I grew up on this. I have to now get out of my dorky fangirl place and go into my professional actress mode. And combining the two was really hard. It's so cool. It's just so cool. And while I can't say much, I can say the actor, Flynn Gray, is so great. So the two things she mentions, her being a very small part in the movie and her potentially, by like listing this specifically, having something to do with the child Flynn Gray. I mean, she didn't say Aaron Pierre is so great in the movie. She didn't say Ryan Gosling. She said specifically the kid. And maybe that's a thing of like, she just wants to like hoist up the next generation because he's going to be in the movie. But
yeah, but it also makes you think that probably like she had like most of her scenes are with him. Yeah, I would assume.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I had a very small part is interesting, specifically because if her part is so small, I can't imagine a small part doing much to alter the fate of the Force forever, or whatever the phrase is.
Yeah, let's also think about with Mando and Grogu. Sigourney Weaver, one of the headlining stars of the movie, barely in the movie.
Exactly.
So, and they hyped that up like she was going to be...
Sigourney Weaver has red hair. I think she was more Jade.
Dude!
Oh, God. Dude. Hey.
Imagine if that was a twist. That would have been insane. That would have been
at the end of the movie. It would have been
weird. She's like,
Mando,
really cool.
I have a job for you. You need this lightsaber, and it's a purple lightsaber.
Purple lightsaber.
That's crazy. Go beat my guy, Talon Card.
Yeah.
That's it.
Dude, that would have been insane if Talon Card was in Mando and Grogu. That would have been
She says, here's my card, and Talon Card walks through the door.
Part of the that's crazy.
Played by Antonio Banderas, and he goes,
That is crazy.
No, it's Timothy Zahn in his Talon Card outfit from the card games.
Yeah, the card. Yeah, dude. Oh my God. Michael Stackpole as Corran Horn walks out, and I'm Corran Horn.
Wow.
Quick, Ant-Man, we need you to find
I
Corran
love
Horn.
Horn, dude. That's crazy.
Are you a Corran Horn enjoyer?
I like him. Oh, yeah. Well, it's so funny. Before I got into like Star Wars, I always heard about Kip Durant. And I was like, oh, Kip's got to be really cool. And no. I was so wrong. And I was like, wow, this guy's kind of an ass. So once I read iJedi, I was like, yeah, that's who I thought Kip was going to be. So it's more of a core. It was his lightsaber and everything, that legacy. I don't know. I love that. But I would love a lot more of that stuff in Mando, because I think Mando's actually kind of the right place for it.
I agree. I think that's kind of the perfect place for those kind of stories. But I know what you're about to pull up, Will.
Kip Durant related to Kevin. Sorry, dude.
Who was the guy? Who was the character 2 weeks ago that we said? I think HT commented or like chatted that like Kevin Durant. Like, who did you say? Who was the name?
So Pokemon Durant.
So yeah, and don't forget Duran Duran, the band.
Hugo Durant,
because it's Hugo Durant is from Solo,
Yep.
No, Rio. Hugo is the one from Mando, but then he was like Kevin Durant.
Yeah, Kevin Durant.
That's crazy.
Hugo Damask Holdings.
Yeah.
Yep.
Coruscant's World Cup lineup.
Sponsored by Damask Holdings. Oh my god. Dude, we just like made a whole like interconnected web.
Instead of like the crypto arena, it's the Damask Holdings arena.
That actually
the main
crazy. And people are
that
like,
would be insane, dude.
It's like, oh, it's getting rebranded to the Palpatine Stadium. They're like, I wonder why that happened, you know? It's right as the beginning of or into Phantom Menace.
Sheev coin.
the boomers on Coruscant are like, oh, back in my day, it was the Damask Center. What is up with this Palpatine?
It'll always be the Staples Center to me.
Yeah. Oh my god. Anyway, dude, I'm laughing at this. Ethan Hawke should show up as Joru Sabaoth.
He's just the same character he was in Moon Knight.
Oh my god, that's funny.
Yeah,
dude, that's
damn.
Also, I do. This is kind of how I was feeling. I'm kind of feeling like she might be getting slimed out.
Yeah, I was also thinking Acolyte vibes, where what's her name?
Yeah.
Trinity from X-Men. Sorry, X-Men. She's the Matrix. Sorry, my bad. That's where I was just like, they use her once, and then that's it. You know, you only see her like another episode, and it's just memories and stuff like that.
Right.
That's the vibe I'm getting.
Whoa, that's Mara Jade. And then she's done. Very small part of the movie. That's it.
That's crazy, dude.
Very
that
small
was
part.
insane.
Very small part.
I would be so depressed.
This chat has gotten out of hand, dude. What?
It's probably my energy. I am sorry. Don should play Ray.
Just that picture of just Don Cheadle, like, just smiling at the camera.
It's Don Cheadle as Ray, but he's actually been dead since whatever.
Well, what they should do is they should, for New Jedi Order, you get Terrence Howard to play Ray, and then the next one you get Don Cheadle.
But he's been a Skrull the whole time.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, he's been a Skrull.
Oh my god. Anyway, yeah, listen, there's rumors that I've heard. Obviously, Star Wars, any type of stuff like this, there's going to be rumors thrown out everywhere. I will say a lot of this stuff does add up with rumors that I've heard that, like, again, it seems like even Amy Adams is kind of like, yeah, I'm in this movie for a brief time, so it doesn't feel like that crazy. But, like, the rumors that I had heard was that, like, Flynn Gray was Force sensitive or whatever, or was, Force sensitive kid, which is, the new trend. I will say, I love Star Wars. But I hope this is the last time we do this trend for a little while, if that is the case, where it's like the dad, the begrudging dad and his Force-sensitive child with Bad Batch and Mando, But I digress. If we get in Starfighter, I'm like, okay. But I presume maybe the kid is Amy Adams' character's child, and then, Ryan Gosling is either like a friend or relative or something, whatever, and he's the one that's kind of like, all right, I got to take care of this kid now and get him to where he's going. And I assume we know nothing really about Aaron Pierre characters, but we can presume what I had heard is that Mia Goth and Matt Smith were the bad guys.
Yeah, because Matt Smith was asked about it recently and was like, so you're playing a bad guy in the new Star Wars movie? And his answer was something like, yeah, or girl. And that was his answer, and it was like, okay, thanks, Matt Smith.
Yeah, appreciate you, Matt Smith. And it's kind of crazy because, like, again, obviously, like, I don't think this is, like, it was very highly speculated that, like, Matt Smith was going to be in Rise of Skywalker as, like, some form of Palpatine.
Yes.
That didn't end up happening, right?
He talked about that, too. He said that it was going to be changing, like, the story forever, if it was ever going to be. Yes, there's actually a number of him saying that, which was actually crazy because I got such huge Dark Empire vibes. And
that's my thing is I'm Empire. Like, I imagine if we had gotten a lightsaber fight with like Ben and Rey versus like a reborn Palpatine. Oh my god, that would have been like. Have you ever seen that animation from Dark Empire? It was like some fan animation. Someone did like, I'm not even kidding, like maybe 18
Oh yeah,
years
that's
ago.
the one that Seth sent, didn't he?
Yes, it's like the purple and red lightsaber, and it's like it is one of the craziest choreographed. Like, have you seen what I'm talking about?
Yeah. Oh yeah, I've seen it.
Yeah,
It kind of looks like the art style of the holiday special of like the
not that
Boba
one.
Fett.
Not that one. That one is good because that's like a full like animated thing. No, I'm thinking of the one that's like it's literally just like a 15-second fight between. I'll pull it up.
Oh, I don't know if I've seen that one.
What?
Yeah, it almost looks like the old animated Lord of the Rings movies in a way, the way that they motion.
No, that's the one that you're thinking of as well as the animated Dark Empire thing. I'm thinking of something else. Hold on.
Where like the sky is pink and stuff?
Yes, that's the one you're thinking of. I'm thinking of this one. It's a 30-second fight. Hold on. I'm sharing the screen. This is a live reaction. I hope you guys haven't seen this. This would be crazy if I'm showing it to this.
All right. When we say reaction, you guys know who you have on the pod, right? You guys.
Reaction. You also see my YouTube.
Reaction?
My YouTube recommended, I guess. Okay, I'm gonna full screen this. Can you guys see it?
Yeah, I can see it.
Okay. All right. Let me know if you guys can hear it too.
Are you sure? So be it.
Yeah, this is the one. Oh my goodness. Gorgeous. Gorgeous, baby.
It's
So
really
good.
sick.
The drip is so good.
I had never seen that before.
Really?
Oh wow, yeah, that's the one,
dude.
Yeah,
I know it's rotoscoped based on like an actual lightsaber fight that someone did, and someone like so the artist did that, and people still to this day cannot find who actually originally did that video. But like seeing like a young like
it was George Lucas.
That would have been imagine he's like
insane.
I'm gonna go just animate this Dark Empire fight, but and we're gonna talk about it a little bit later as well. But like, we need some stuff like that on Disney Plus, man. Like real bad, dude. Like
bring back Tarkovsky. Let's go.
Dude,
let's go.
Oh my god, bro. Like that's the I know like we get
but
a lot of
stuff.
stuff.
Shadow Lord. I love Shadow Lord. It's 10 out of 10. 10
Listen,
for me, baby.
Two goats can exist, right? You can have goated 3D animation and you can have goated 2D animation. And I really, really think that Star Wars has left a lot of untapped potential when it comes to 2D animation. Should we just like go ahead and talk about that? Is this like a crazy thing to just go ahead and jump into real quick?
Yeah, I mean that was kind of the next topic, and it takes place outside of Rank Ferric, so we'll do this and then we'll do some Rank Ferric later on.
Let's go.
So this was kind of inspired by a few days ago. Darius, I don't know how into like comics you are, but we got news.
I'm into Star Wars comics. I'm trying to get into Absolute Batman again, but I can't find that ish anywhere, big dog.
You said the magic words. So Absolute Batman is getting an animated series.
Okay.
This was just announced like 3 or 4 days ago. Which is awesome. And DC, I've been saying, and a lot of people have been saying for a very long time, that DC is kind of they are at the forefront for making their stories into animated projects. Like one of my favorite movies of all time is DC did their animated version of the New Frontier Darwin Cook story, which is like so goated. But like, there's a lot of people who, when they think of Star Wars, they go, oh, why won't they just do that book? Why won't they just do that comic? Why are they doing this story? Why don't they just do that? And like, sure. And a lot of people's answer to that is it's already a book. It's already a comic. You can go consume that media. But if they were going to do it, making it an animated project is definitely, I think, a great way to go. Not even within the 2D or the 3D animated Clone Wars style that everything kind of is. So my question, and you can start off, Lord Daggerby yourself, if there was a story that was going to be adapted into animation from Legends, what would you want that story to be if you could pick?
Tales of the Jedi. Tales of the Jedi comics. Tales of the Jedi comics.
Ooh.
Tales of the Jedi comics. Yeah. Odion Nomi Sunrider, Jor and Devi, Daragon, all those characters leading to Knights of the Old Republic. There's remakes coming out as well. You have Fate of the Old Republic as well. It's coming out too. You don't even have to tell the same stories, because that's the thing I like the most, is that Legends is there. So tell stories around the current events. So you have those stories that exist. You're not desecrating it. You're not offending anybody. Just tell stories around it. And so it makes it all canon. So I think Tales of the Jedi is a good start off.
That is, I think I picked up the trades for those pretty recently, because I just like love the art style in those. And dude, that honestly is a really good answer, because I think everybody has that, dude. And all those covers are just gorgeous, you know, like that's like that is peak 90s era Star Wars content. So and that is also one thing, as I will say, is even when you said, I like that answer of like kind of making it like, you know, so it can kind of all be canon, if that makes sense.
Exactly.
Is I've always said, this is not necessarily a nitpick that I've had, but an issue that I've had with the KOTOR game. I love KOTOR. KOTOR is one of my favorite games of all time, the first one especially. But I love that in those comics, it actually feels like 4,000 years before the Skywalker saga.
Yes, it's like, the era, the look. Yeah, it's such
like they've got the leather and the...
Yes, it's so different. And the drip, baby, the drip. Everybody is just like their own main character. It's so sick. And yeah, I think there's so much respect, I think, that we all have for current continuity as well and previous. But there is something about an era that was created before the prequel trilogy. And then when you see those stories kind of like go to the culmination of whatever they end up ending, because I don't want to give the spoilers away to anyone that gets into it, I think that you can see a lot of like, wow, did this character kind of inspire some characters in the prequel trilogy and even in future stories and stuff? I love the look and feel of every era, and I think that's what's so important about telling future stories, is that every era is distinct. Every era has a certain tone. Every era look and feels this way, and I think they should do the same thing with animation. So you have one day they'll get courageous enough, and then maybe we'll get a High Republic animated show. We'll get a Old Republic show. We'll get a Tales of the Jedi era show, you know, Battle of Rusan era show, future sequel stuff that isn't Star Wars Resistance. And I think it's okay to make all of these stories look and feel different, to give them a unique tone in their own aura, essentially. I think that's something that I would love to do and see come to reality.
They kind of have danced around it a little bit with Shadow Lord. Obviously, Shadow Lord is an extension of Clone Wars' animation and also taking things from Rebels. But like, that was one thing that I love Rebels so much. People have mixed feelings on the animation style of that, but I really like, even with Resistance as well, that like they were like, oh, everything looks like Clone Wars now. And I think, you know, they've kind of found their footing of like things are looking more like Clone Wars, and they've kind of started to make little changes as opposed to big jumps and stuff. But I really want those big jumps. I really want those different art styles. And that's one thing about Absolute Batman, is like the fact that they're bringing in Dragotta and to embrace that, like that art style and everything. Again, it's going to be 3D animated, which is, I also think, which is going to be pretty cool.
That's awesome.
But like, again, we just watched this 2D animated, you know, rotoscoped fight, whatever. And it's like, man, that sort of stuff. Of course, Gendy's Tartakovsky's Clone Wars is incredible, and is a classic. But to have something like that, and I think that sort of stuff would suit really well especially for Tales of the Jedi stuff.
You may have already gotten that. You may have already gotten that in some of the stories that you've seen, but I can't say anything else too much, even though it's already out. But I would say I would definitely watch Visions. Season 1 and 3.
True. Oh, I'm a huge Visions fan. And that's one thing as well, as I'm like, I love that, like, the stuff that we're getting in Visions, I'm like, do more of that. Like, these things that are the Ronin is genuinely one of my favorite things ever, you know? Journey to the Dark Head in season 2, like, I would watch a whole show that, like, the Sith designs, the Jedi designs, like, the fights, like, so dang good. Ninth Jedi, which we are getting a show of this year, which I am stoked for. I'm glad we are getting that. And again, hopefully after that we get Ronin. I don't know. I'm just saying I would love a Ronin show. But you know, that's me being greedy. But I want that sort of stuff to be embraced, you know, because just like, again, even with the traditional animation style, like Shadow Lord just looked flawless. There's genuinely no like it is absolutely insane how good that show looks. You know,
Beautiful.
Start like the animation team deserves their flowers, and I want them to have more funding too. Like,
yeah.
And again, like, you know, Will and I are lucky enough to know a couple of the guys on the animation team at Star Wars, like, and they are the coolest dudes. Like, they are genuinely the best like types of fans in the world, and they love this stuff too. And I'm like, these guys have ideas. They have things that it's like, again, we don't need to put it in this whole like box. Like, but again, if we're with EUs, obviously, you know, you're a huge. We're all EU fans.
Yeah, I like both continuities, baby. We all love it here, man.
Yeah, it's like it doesn't. You don't need to put yourself in this whole like box. I love the whole. What is your thoughts on the whole like campfire thing? Do you like when people talk about like Sam Witwer and Timothy Zahn talk about how like when this campfire it went this way, but in this campfire it went another way? Like, how do you feel about that whole thing?
Oh, interesting. Is that like a diversion of thought and different views or something? What exactly that entail?
Have you not heard of this?
I don't think so. Because I also stay away from a lot of stuff outside of like I don't want to put so much because you know we all live on the internet, baby, and sometimes your boy ends up on Nerderotic stream just because I'm too excited about certain Star Wars projects. So I try to move through everything correctly. But you know when I start talking about Legends continuity, I'm coming. The heavy hitters are coming at me. So
yeah. Okay, so Timothy Zahn and Leland Chee and
Pablo
Hidalgo and Sam Witwer have all basically explained this whole thing of like with Legends that they view or with differences in not even just Legends but like differences in stories. For example, the Canon comic versus Kanan's Order 66 scene in Bad Batch, right?
Oh yes,
two very different versions.
Yeah,
or you know, Heir to the Empire in Ahsoka more or less, and then Heir to the Empire book, right? Of in this campfire, you know, Luke Skywalker, you know, helped defeat this dark Jedi clone with the help of this character, you know. But I was like, but in this campfire, it was no, he went off and he made this whole Jedi temple, and his sister had a son and stuff like that, right? Yeah. And it's the fact that it's like the galaxy is so big and widespread that like. Another example, it was like in the Ahsoka book, Ahsoka's lightsabers are green, but in this story, her lightsabers are blue. You know, like it's the telephone act, basically, especially when you've got so many stories. So I was curious. I wasn't sure if you had ever heard of it. That's something that we talk a lot about.
Yeah. I even when it comes down to like Legends and continuity, for me, it's like, and you guys can look around my stuff. I got New Jedi Order behind me, Knights of the Old Republic stuff everywhere. It's like for me, the most humbling thing is like George Lucas did not write these stories. These are not live action stories, and that's one thing I have to understand every single day is that I love this ish so much, but I'm not going to fight anyone online about it because George probably doesn't even know what the hell of a pad is, or, you know, Mitra Surik, you know, and Treya, Malachor, you know, and things like that. So it's just one of those things for me. That's why the expanded universe in the books and comics exists, is for someone like me to obsess over, you know, if the movies are not enough. And if Ahsoka has, you know, bleeds her crystal and, you know, humiliates that Inquisitor in the Ahsoka book, and then I see it in Tales of the Empire, Tales of the Jedi, whatever story that it's in, that is Dave's version. So that to me is what he thought was the actual story, because there's eons and eons and eons of stories that we haven't heard yet because there may not have been an opportunity because the mouse isn't really prepared to give that money to them. So I'm okay with whatever Sam and Leland want to do. And then if I'm not, that's why I have 40 plus years of continuity.
Facts.
No new story that you may not be a fan of takes anything away from a story that is already written or produced that you are a fan of.
Say it louder for people in the back, baby. You know, because I have my criticisms and tier lists and things about that, especially on, you know, current media. But like at the end of the day, baby, you know, I got Heir to the Empire and Knights of the Republic here, and I enjoy. I have 2 cakes on my table, baby. I have 2 cakes, and I got a lot of cakes. You know, so it's like a birthday every day for me. And there's parts that I don't eat, and that's okay. I'll eat the rest of this.
Yeah.
That's how I feel.
That is what we scream out to the ether. Anyway,
All right.
back on track. Sorry, completely lost
Yeah,
track
it's
about
all
all of this. Yeah. Will,
Yes.
what is the one? What is the? I mean, we've talked about it a little before, and we can also go in circles if we wanted to talk about more things. But what's like the EU story that or EU thing that you would want to see in like a kind of like a Legends tab on Disney Plus, you know, sort of thing?
I mean, when I think about that like genre of kind of bringing up the DC animated stuff again, if like there was like a Legends label on stuff when it was made, of like at the beginning, it's like you see like a gold, very much the same way you see like the beginning of Star Wars shows now that are canon, and it's the and like it's all the helmets. If there was just something that popped up and it said Star Wars Legends,
or even like
maybe,
Visions, or like the whole like, you know,
exactly,
and it has the individual title of having the whole Legends intro. Yeah,
then you know it's Legends, and then you can just sit there and enjoy it, and you don't have to watch it from the perspective of, oh, what is this change about The Last Jedi? Or, I wonder what this affects in Clone Wars Season 3. Like, you don't have to do that. And I think that they're, as much as it is fun for speaking on behalf of three people right now who definitely do a lot of that when we are watching something, of doing the Leonardo DiCaprio meme of, oh, they did it. That's the thing. We don't need that all the time. And I do think if there was going to be I mean, it's tough, but I do think a best bet to like have a bunch of people on board with it. You could do anything with Luke, like you could do New Jedi Order stuff. Like there is such a demand for people seeing Luke in between Return of the Jedi and then where he pops up in the sequels. And obviously we have like Shadow of the Sith and stuff like that, but like, which is a phenomenal book. But New Jedi Order, anything where it's Luke master-wise, which I do think if I had to pick like a canon pick of what I would want for canon, is just anything with Luke and his Jedi temple during that time.
Yeah.
I want him looking for artifacts. I want him just like the Battlefront campaign. Like I want that story. Like if I love Battlefront, but that where Luke pops up and he's like getting the compass and he's like, I'm going to take this. Like if there's one thing I wish I could do, it's pause the game and hit Luke mode and follow him to wherever he's going. That's all I want. That is my number one most, like, I want that project so bad. But if I was picking like a Legends thing, something that I think would get a lot of people on board, there's a lot of Legends stuff. I do think something Force Unleashed related would probably be a great, like think of the clamoring of people online, of fans, of being like, a Force Unleashed project. You know what I mean? And like Absolute Batman is kind of like the Force Unleashed version of Batman.
Yeah.
Like, so I'm like, if people want to see different versions of what they already know, and some sort of Force Unleashed story, I think would be great. Obviously, I can say Dark Empire. Obviously, I can say Shadows of the Empire. Obviously, I can say Heir to the Empire. Obviously,
anything with Empire,
anything with "of the" in the title will probably slap. But like, I Luke, if it was canon, I also like when it comes to like the James Mangold like Dawn of the Jedi thing. That would be sick to see in a movie. But man, I would love to see that as an animated thing. Like, give me like 2 seasons of like, just like vignettes, and like show me that and really give me it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
a movie would be great. I would love to see it, but I want to see series at this point. Like, I love movies, but I want to see shows. So,
in my experience with production and some of the stuff I can't talk about yet, it's always a problem of cost and time. That's always the problem. Now, there are other issues that you guys have touched up on. Like, let's say I want to tell a story about a character, but this character came from a movie.
Yeah.
So that's off the table. So let's say, and this is just an example, let's say maybe there is a story out there with Luke's Jedi Temple, but maybe that was something that George never got to do, and that's behind the vault. Maybe that vault is Dave Filoni.
Yeah.
Maybe that vault is someone else, you know? And so that's where I almost 100% certain why we haven't gotten it yet, on top of sequel trilogy moving forward. Because there's one thing that I don't think anyone can really criticize these days, even the most diehard legend fans, is Darth Vader in the Disney era is one of the most solid characters of all time. I think his stock is so very high, and you have Luke Skywalker there, and I think that you're his character right there, especially Battlefront era, that era, Shadow of the Sith. We just got talking about one of the greatest freaking books I've ever freaking read, and if you do eventually do this, maybe that is the problem, is that it's too good. And then it starts to take away attention from everything else, because I've also heard that is a possibility.
The whole thing, I do give a lot of credence to the fact that they're not going to do these stories because they might want to save them for later, or they're waiting for the time. That's kind of how I feel about Old Republic stuff. Is that people are like, why have they not done Old Republic yet? And it's like,
but they are.
Now they are. But they're finally doing something, which I guess it's at the end of the Old Republic, so closer to Bane era sort of stuff.
But you also have the remakes that are coming out too.
Allegedly.
Well, I mean, we have accounts from very reliable Star Wars creators that have said that they have played and seen a certain build. 100% Star Wars is one of those people.
I hope so, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
But it's interesting is are they waiting for both of those before they start to delve into it more? Also, there's Eclipse, which we don't even know what's going on with that game right now because of the whole Dream stuff.
Yeah. That's a bad one. Yeah.
Is that High Republic?
That is supposed to be like High Republic as well. And if you watch that trailer, which I think is also one of the best trailers I've ever seen, too.
It's crazy.
It hypes you up every time, dude.
Yeah. Every time, bro. But what's interesting, I don't know. Hey, listen, I don't know if you got any Acolyte fans in here. Okay, but I'm going to say something. The art book of the Acolyte has very similar faction in that book that is in the Eclipse trailer, which I also think is interesting.
Oh,
really?
Yeah.
I have that book, but I didn't.
Baby. You gotta.
I was waiting for him to say it.
Yeah. About to unlock the knowledge today.
What is it? Is it the people with the drums?
No. It's the corporate faction that's fighting the Trade Federation in the story. Yeah, they're very interesting. The all black. They don't even look like they belong in Star Wars, but they look like they're in Star Wars.
They
I think
kind of look like
Galaxy take.
They kind of look like Dryden Voss's guys in Solo, the black and gold.
Yes. More like a faction of them, which is what I really like. Yeah, and because I think that Acolyte art book is amazing in terms of you really get to understand what production is and how it takes so many different turns especially during COVID, which a lot of people don't really realize still is affecting entertainment.
Oh my god!
And yeah, they're in there, bro. They are in there. It's at least it's the idea. Maybe they saw that trailer and they're like, all right, I'm putting this in there.
Yeah.
But very interesting. I don't know what's going to happen, but I always keep hearing it's still being made and it's going to be very ambitious. Well, I don't know if we're ever going to see that thing, guys. Honestly, that's like 1313 era. It's never coming out.
That game that game is more mythical than GTA 6 at this point now. What it's man. Which that's kind of the implication that what they were trying to do with that game is that because Quantic Dream we
talk about 1313 so much, and it's just every time we talk about it, it's just
that game. By the way, there's genuinely, there's no reason for that game not to exist. There's just not.
Yeah,
that game should exist. There's there's literally nothing in that game that would inherently contradict canon. You could make it work easily.
I agree. I agree. I also feel the same way about the mole game.
Really?
The same way about the mole game
with him and Talon.
I think the same way. Yeah, why not? Why can't that be after season 3 of Mole Shadow Lord?
Oh, so you're saying bring it further, because wasn't it originally it was going to be Legacy era, was it not?
Yeah. It was. Yeah, it was. But I think that's what's so interesting about Star Wars. There are things that you can change the timeline and fit right in.
Sure.
Even something with the Acolyte that I highly criticize, but even still, I still think there are some great positives that we could make, a second season or a Stranger Plagueis. So I still think that goes really well with Darth Bane and everything else that entails the Darth Plagueis novel. I still think there's so many opportunities to fit that in there as well. I don't know, man. I
think that sort of stuff is like when we're talking about these animated things of like, obviously the gut punch reaction, everyone's going to be like Plagueis, but I'm like, okay, Plagueis is a thing. I'm like, that's something that you pull from. I think that's something that it exists and people should go read it, because I do think a lot of the things that come from that book should be adapted. And I think Thrawn is a good example of that as well, of like certain characters like that. But there's other things like, again, I think Tales of the Jedi is a great pick for that whole animated, the whole like different animated style. Because again, that's a little bit more nebulous. It's far out. It's far removed. It's something that you can introduce to new audiences and things like that. There's certain things that I feel like fit in the whole, hey, we're keeping like, this is just a fun watch, almost a what if in a way, like an adaptation of a story that's out there to introduce to new people. I do think Tales of the Jedi, Dark Empire, Heir to the Empire, stuff like well, Heir to the Empire gets tricky because that one is like, is that something they're going to pull from as well? As much as Dave Filoni talks about that book trilogy, that is one that I'm always kind of like, would they ever do an animated thing of that? Because like, obviously Dave is building up to something, definitely not 1-to-1, but similar,
Yeah.
hopefully.
I mean, Timothy Zahn also seems very, they're not asking me for this, so I don't know what they're doing, which is also interesting. But I don't mind a combination of the two, or a different, like I think Ahsoka has got flaws, but I think Ahsoka for me is my favorite series with just how it extends outside the galaxy and Peridia and everything. And that's the type of stuff that I want, because I know it's the galaxy far, far away, but it's the universe, baby. It's a Star Wars universe. They even say that in the Mortis Arc and Clone Wars. Qui-Gon says that. So keep going. Like, let's see how much further is the Vong out there? How far is the Chiss out here? Maybe it's the friggin' Rakatan Archipelago. I mean, I don't know how deep cut that may be for someone like me, but that'd be really cool because that could go in the Dawn of the Jedi book. I just feel like,
I guess not too deep cut because of the Rakatan stuff in Andor. So like,
in Andor, you go, baby.
Yeah. With the Skykyber and everything. Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Yes.
That sort of stuff would
twice.
Be sick.
They do that twice. They got the statue and everything. He even talks about the Rakatan invasion.
Yeah.
Don't get me started.
He say 25,000 years ago or something like that? Like the Rakatan invaders, dude. They're seeds. They're setting that stuff up. That's where I love it.
If the Dawn of the Jedi movie does exist and it's going to happen, I need a 15-minute intro like Lord of the Rings, baby. I got to know about everything, okay? I need it all. I need to know about King Adas and Korriban. I need to know about the Rakatans. I need to know about all that stuff, baby. Give it
that
to
would
me.
Be sick, like a Lord of the Rings style, like not an opening crawl.
That's how
like
the movie
it's
should
like
start.
It's like someone like writing like on a scroll sort of thing.
Yeah.
So.
And that intro ends with Odan writing the Jedi Code.
That actually would be a crazy ending, dude.
It might be giving away too much work.
That would be fun, dude.
Yeah.
Wow.
Because that's one of the first pages in Tales of the Jedi is
he's talking about when the Sith when the Dark Jedi got exiled to Korriban and everything.
Yes, schisms, baby.
Yeah.
If you want to pull it into canon, you can throw my boy Hu Yang in there too.
That's just for me, though.
You see, but he would be there. Yeah, he would be there.
Sick.
Oh,
and maybe
the guy who turns
just
Hu
being
Yang
a
on.
spectator.
He's the one who flips the switch and gets Hu Yang, and
that would be sick. And then David Tennant was just like,
would it be Hu Yang recap it with like doing the event? That'd be kind of sick too.
Dude, that's what I've been saying.
I would love that.
Oh my god,
I would love that.
He's been around literally for almost the entirety of the Jedi Order. He knows everything. This dog, this guy has Batman level intelligence to be able to be like, oh, you need this one lightsaber? It's Balin Skoll's. I've only ever seen it once, and it's got to be him.
Once.
He literally was, dead ass was created 25,020 BBY.
That's what I'm saying.
It's the Dawn of the Jedi Order. Yeah, that is the Dawn of the Jedi Order.
That's actually okay for how good he looks. That's bonkers.
That would be sick as hell. Yeah, that would be so cool, Will, if Odion just turns him on and then
like that's his droid, it's Hu Yang, and then that's how he's became
oh my god!
That's how he became the guy who helped with the lightsabers, is because he was there for the start of the order, and he's one of the base people who knows the most about it. Like, you literally have somebody who has been there from jump. You don't need to go back to ancient texts and libraries and burned books and whatever it is in people's interpretation. You have a robot who has been there the entire time, who robots don't really have opinions. Like, I understand they're droids and they're sentient, I guess, but and they're Sabine is probably the worst Jedi ever. Like, I know they can make jokes and have that kind of sense, but they still are based in data and analytics. And they have the ability to go back through those data banks and keep all of that. And what if it's like a C-3PO sort of deal where I know it's Rise of Skywalker, but where C-3PO has a switch and it's oh, he's got all this data back there. You just didn't have the access to it. Bro, 25,000 years of stuff is loaded into this guy's brain, dude.
Yeah, bro.
How is he not the most important droid in the galaxy?
Yeah. Yeah, and that's why I think going forward, at least if those stories do exist, he should probably be a narrator. They should probably do what people always talk about. C-3PO and R2-D2 should be for Star Wars. I think that would be a huge opportunity not to miss, especially the character so vital to the continuity of Star Wars. I think that'd be great. I love that section when they finally go to Peridia. And he's telling Ahsoka a long time ago in a galaxy far away.
Oh my god, that's literally the intro to any show you need about small vignettes. And
there you go.
Honestly, if Hu Yang should have been the starting point narrator for if they wanted to make a longer Tales of the Jedi series they did with Dooku and Ahsoka. It should start off with Hu Yang, and it doesn't necessarily have to be the 2-character formula that they always do. But if it was, let's say it was 10 episodes, and each episode started off with Hu Yang being 10,000 years ago, blah, 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 in this part of the galaxy. And then it's oh, what is this? What's going on? Oh, we're on Mandalore? Oh, wait, we're talking about Tar Vizsla? That kind of stuff where he's explaining that. And obviously Hu Yang would know the schematics of the Darksaber.
Yeah.
That's actually kind of crazy.
But this is what I'm saying. It's Hu Yang is probably the most untapped potential we have in Star Wars right now. In terms of
definitely one of them.
Someone
connective tissue.
Sure. Yeah.
Someone also brought this up. They were talking about how would people, if there was a Legends thing under the Star Wars tab on Disney Plus or whatever.
My
go.
I got his Funko right over there.
It's my go.
His Lego.
Someone was saying, we were talking about the intro thing and stuff as well. They were saying it would confuse general audiences, and I'm like, okay, if you had an intro, this is at the beginning.
Yeah. For Legends.
Yes. So this is I'm gonna read the intro for the Essential Legends collection, and again, I'm gonna I'm of what they do for all the Essential Legends collections books, because this is how they introduce them on the tab. Again, I would condense this. You could make this more lore friendly, but you could get Hu Yang saying this. But this is the intros that they do in all of the Legends books. For more than 40 years, novels set in a galaxy far, far away have enriched the Star Wars experience for fans seeking to continue the adventure beyond the screen. When he created Star Wars, George Lucas built a universe that sparked the imagination and inspired others to create. He opened up that universe to be a creative space for other people to tell their own tales. This became known as the Expanded Universe, or EU, of novels, comics, video games, and more. To this day, the EU remains an inspiration for Star Wars creators and is published under the label Legends. Ideas, characters, story elements, and more from new Star Wars entertainment trace their origins back to material from the Expanded Universe. This Essential Legends collection curates some of the most treasured stories from that expansive legacy. Now, you could rewrite that in a 3-sentence intro, or a 3 or 4 sentence intro that could be a skippable intro every single time, right before the whole Star Wars Star Wars Legends pops up, and you got a Volume 1 or you Dark Empire volume, a Bane, whatever you want to call it, right? Again, certain things I think you don't want to like just put and be like, well, this is just going to be over here. But obviously, like a Star Wars legacy comic, you know, like Jander Sima and like Cade Skywalker and all of this stuff, like that's a thing that you can make an animated thing, throw and be like, hey, this is never going to happen, but it might have happened, you know, and you could easily format
if
that.
It is animated and it sells enough and it gets enough butts in seats and does well enough in terms of the people whose pockets have to be filled when something is created for art. If it does well enough, maybe they go,
oh, people really seem to like this Cade Skywalker guy. Maybe we should do some more with him.
You know what I mean? Like it's there's like proof of there's proof of purchase when it comes to this stuff of like, you know, we had this show and people are signing up, and the first thing they watch after they sign up is the Dark Empire Legends movie. And we had this amount of Disney Plus subscriptions between October and November, and now that's out, blah 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 blah. Like they built this formula for themselves. We did not ask for this. We did not ask for
Fate of the Old Republic movie.
Exactly. We did not ask for this formula to be made what it is. But there's also the ability to use it in the way that like literally if something said, and I understand the idea of like, oh, maybe it'll be confusing for modern audiences. Dog, if you're a Batman fan and you watch the Dark Knight Returns movie and then you go watch Under the Red Hood, you're like, is that the same Batman? No, it's just Batman.
Yeah.
Like it does not have to be this thing where like every Luke Skywalker is the same Mark Hamill Luke Skywalker. People have a very specific view of Luke Skywalker, and maybe Luke does different things, but like it just came out. I'm such a big Avatar Last Airbender fan. And the second season of the live action adaptation just came out. And there are a lot of things that they have changed, obviously, because it is a different medium. And it is also within the span of not 30 episodes for a season of animated television, but it's live action and it's within like 8 episodes, around an hour each. So there's stuff that they drop, there's stuff that they change, there's stuff that they've pulled from season 3 and put in season 2 that a lot of that stuff actually worked. But like one of my favorite characters of all time is Zuko, and then my other favorite character of all time is Iroh, and their two stories weren't necessarily changed like 100%, but there are a lot of differences in the way their stories are told. And that campfire analogy is such a great analogy, not only for Star Wars, but also for other IPs, because like you can use that and sit there and go, oh, you know, I'm getting this story, but I'm getting it from a different perspective. I already know the way the story has been told to me once, but maybe it's from here. And maybe I don't like it. But doing that thing where you're like watching something and needing like boxes checked, it's a very hard thing for people in nerdy fandoms to dissociate from. But it is something that I think is almost necessary in this day and age, because I don't think we've ever got a one-to-one adaptation of anything that was an adaptation of something else. I don't think ever.
Yeah.
Have we? I literally cannot think of one thing that has been, no matter the IP, that has been adapted that was one-to-one. Oh, it's a book. Now it's a movie. Oh, it's an animated series. Now it's a comic book. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think there's ever been one-to-one. Even for like the Star Wars, the novelizations, dude, those aren't 100% one-to-one. Ever.
Yeah, there's a bunch of added stuff. Yeah, I mean, even something like the Killing Joke animated for our Batman 2 was definitely a lot of stuff. Yeah, but it was very close, but obviously there was a lot that was added. You know,
yeah, there was some changes in there.
There definitely was. There definitely was. But see, in my work production too, that's also the thing that they always ask too, is like, we don't just want to Control-C, Control-V. We want to add new original things, you know, and that's from a producer standpoint. That's from a director standpoint. You know, that's also from a writer standpoint, because yes, absolutely. Everybody has egos and things that they want to do, but also people want to put their stamp on it. And that's just the way I think the medium works, because as a fan, a genuine fan of the franchise, do you really just want the book that you read in live action? Do you really just want that?
And it's never going to live up to the expectations that you have either, by the way. If Plagueis got adapted 1-to-1, it's not going to hit the same as what the picture that you had in your head, and right?
But I see, like, I'm very critical of the Acolyte, but I think that Plagueis thing was perfect. I actually love that, you know? And I know there's a lot of people online who's like, why is he looking like that? I don't know, bro. He's a freaking Sith Lord. What the hell you want?
He's a Sith Lord.
This is my guy who literally found another apprentice for him to take the freaking spotlight. I mean, I think he would be kind of like hiding in the caves looking and figuring out what the hell his apprentice is doing with.
We barely ever see Muns. So like his shadowy Mun face of like that. And then also like the naked ones we got on Skeleton Crew who were in the jacuzzis. But like outside of that, it's like you can count on one hand the amount of times you've seen Plagueis' species. So like when you're like, but it doesn't look like that. It's like, how much fan art on Reddit are you looking at of like, well, this is what Plagueis should look like, you know?
Also,
but even the art is also kind of crazy. When the first time I saw Plagueis, I was like, I did not know that this tall, weird guy is supposed to be the guy, you know? And it's,
I mean, if you're
even
just looking at the cover art for the Plagueis book, it's like Palpatine kneel for the blue version, not the red new Legend version, but where he's kneeling in front, and he looks like Snoke in Force Awakens, where he's just a giant head.
Yeah, just a giant.
You're supposed to look at him and be like, oh, maybe he's just a giant man. Like, art
I
is
love
subjective.
that though. Oh, 2015 Force Awakens. Oh, trilogy. Oh my God, theories are going crazy, baby.
The theories on that, like everyone. Dude.
Yeah, even that book, that front cover with him and Kylo and Snoke. Sheesh. Yeah, I love that.
It looks very similar.
Yeah, it does. It does. On the point of like movies, I will say, this is what I always say to the people that actually watch my videos and listen to me talk. I will say that Star Wars is different from any other franchise in the world. You know, it is a movie first. You know, it's not like comics came before, like what they're doing with Marvel. You cannot reset this. You can recast, sure, you can try, but the stories are only going forward and back. It's never going to be a reset. You're not going to whip out.
Are you saying there's no source material? Is that what you're saying? Right?
I'm saying in a way that you're not going to be able to rip out Uncle Ben every time you're in trouble. And there is, yes, continuity of Star Wars, but there is no multiverse. There is no going to be, you know, Spider-Man so far away from home and stuff like that. It is one way, baby, and that's it. So, which is why all these decisions that you do make with this franchise are permanent.
That was something that my friends and I were talking about recently. They're like, Star Wars might be one of the only things where, like, my friends obviously know that I'm like the resident Star Wars.
He did
it! Ryan,
how does he do it?
Will, I'm convinced this is you.
It's not me. I promise it's not me. I wish it was me because this bit rules.
Dude, one cannot even begin to explain the lore that this guy has in our chat.
Rocks. It's not. I cannot stress enough. It is not me.
That is crazy. I just witnessed that for the first time.
If you wanted to go back and watch old Tales of the Archive streams, I was Admiral Enigma for that account. I was Admiral Enigma. So when that pops up and we watch those, that is what I use for a burner account, just for the fun of like making it quickly and being like, "Hey, you guys are making fun of me." That was funny. But
this is how many
crazy.
times? This is probably what, like 7 times now,
and it's like so weirdly like urgent. Like there's urgency to like when Ryan Gosling is brought up to like, oh, this guy's gonna pop up in chat.
No, it's like within 30 seconds.
Yep.
That's crazy.
Like we didn't
this
even
person
bring
is
up
inside.
Did I bring up this comment?
No.
Like, did this pop up on screen? So this is him replying to another comment in chat. Seeing. That's crazy.
It has to be one of us.
I also I don't even think we said Ryan Gosling's name earlier.
Yeah, I don't know.
We did. We said his name. No, we did.
Okay.
Yeah, we did. I was there.
But HD saying nobody did.
I don't know.
We said his name.
I
Early
have a
in the
feeling
stream
like we did when
but
we were
not.
talking about Starfighter,
not-
but
Yeah, we did. No, we did.
Okay. Well, still,
Because we were talking about the kid being mentioned and not Ryan Gosling being mentioned. And that's when we mentioned that.
Right.
Okay. Maybe he's slipping on his game. He still shows up though. It's still weird. It's still
That's
weirdly,
still insane timing.
yeah.
Crazy.
Okay, this was it within 10 minutes, within 5 or whatever. Like, this is crazy. I don't know. Yeah. Also, this is what I was gonna say. It's almost concerning at this point.
Before we do rank Ferric, I'm gonna leave it to you two because your boy has to visit the old Jedi's room.
Okay. I also do the same thing
Okay.
after. So when you come back, I'll have to pass the torch around.
And we'll trade.
a little
Okay,
bit.
goodbye.
Okay.
All right. Everyone's going a little fresher.
I didn't bring up my Legends thing that I would want to turn into like a little animated.
Oh,
like,
please. Yeah, let me hear that too.
Volume thing. It's tough because this story, I think, could so easily work, but I'm afraid they'll never do it. Okay. They kind of danced around it a little bit in Ahsoka, but I don't know if we'll ever get full-fledged, this being introduced in the Star Wars universe. At least I think. I'd love Death Troopers. I would love Death Troopers. That's what I'm looking at my shelf, and I'm a huge Death Troopers guy. I read it for the first time last year, and I didn't think it was going to hit as much as it did. But man, dude, that cover's iconic, bro. Joe Schreiber knows how to freaking bro. We see the biceps, bro.
He always gets me, bro. I'm not trying. I mean, I guess that's a compliment, actually. Yeah. So maybe I should order a shirt.
Aren't Death Troopers already in Mandalorian? Well, we had the zombie night troopers in Ahsoka, but that's not Project Blackwing. It's not. It's not the same thing. That's like
you have Dark Troopers, Dead Troopers, Death Troopers. Yeah, they're all different.
And also in Death Troopers, like I know that the book is called Death Troopers, but they're not like, oh, it's the Death Troop. Like they never like say it. It's more of just the title. Like they don't.
Yeah, it's not Han Solo and Chewbacca. Like, oh my god, the Death Troopers are about to eat us.
Yeah. Like I think they even make it pretty clear that like at least for the first like half the book, all of the infected are not stormtroopers. Like there's very little stormtroopers.
No. It's a very. Have you heard the audiobook?
Yeah, that's what I listened to.
Yeah. So anyone that hasn't heard about it yet, please go in and try to listen to it this Halloween or something.
Yes.
Every single October, I always have this like Halloween playlist. And what's so funny is that every single chapter, the audiobook narrator, whoever it is, will scream the title at the top of their lungs, and then there's an echo of it.
Guts!
Blood and guts. Blood and guts. It's so funny, man. It sends me every time, and I think it's hilarious. And I legit feel like not a lot of people have got that experience, and they need to. But this is actually a solid book. And before I was like, I don't know, zombies, that doesn't make sense in Star Wars. This is why you got to do that, And then you read this book, and it actually works out so well because there's a nice twist to it, And it's nothing like Knights of the Republic with the Rackle Plague or anything like that, which is completely different. Yeah, but it works. It's sick, and I think everybody's got to read it because there's a couple other deep cuts too in the Star Wars RPG books that also make it seem even more scary than what it is.
Yeah.
So
I also need to get to Red Harvest. I know people don't like that one as much, but the fact that it's like origins of Blackwing and also Old Republic and like the Sith Academy and stuff, I'm like, I don't know. That sounds fun to me. It's enough for me to pull me in just because of it. Like, I also really want to read Maul Lockdown, which is another Schreiber book. And just because I like you combine Maul with that like kind of visceral feel that he has in his writing, I'm like, I could vibe. I could dig that.
Yeah, it is definitely. It's. I think visceral is actually the best word you could use to describe that. Actually,
yeah,
definitely, it's pretty good. I just love the potential connections with Nell. And all this other crazy stuff too with Star Wars horror. So I just this is a part of Star Wars that I think works really well that I don't think people understand can work in Star Wars.
And it's a weird thing because it's like, do you go full blown? Like again, like that book really, it is funny. Spoilers kind of for the book, I guess. You kind of mentioned it earlier, but I'm making it more explicitly. Like it is funny to think that like Han Solo and Chewbacca went through this
No.
whole
Yeah,
like this whole zombie like infection on this ship. You're like,
yeah,
well, damn, all right, Han Solo's seen some shit, like
yeah.
but like but it is one of those,
that goes from a 2 to a 10 real quick after some chapters. It's very fast and stuff is happening.
Yeah, it's scary. But that is one of those things where it's like, do you save that because like you could make it work in canon, or is that a thing of like, hey, we're never going to touch this. There's never going to be a way for this to straight up work, so we don't. I wouldn't.
What I would do is I wouldn't touch it. So I'm making a pitch, like a few pitches that I have. I'm saying I'm taking inspiration, and maybe it's in an era that is around the same time, so maybe it's happening the same time as what we've seen, and maybe I'm also implementing something else like the space wraiths. I think are really interesting in Star Wars, which is kind of like a Star Weird, but it's not. It's a little different. And there's this whole tidbit about like Imperial TIE fighter pilots getting possessed by them and going back to their Star Destroyer, and then like the whole Star Destroyer is infected. And so it's like very similar to like Death Troopers. And I think you could tell a story like that where like, hey, yeah, maybe there is this little ship that has this ping that's bringing people closer and closer. And then, hey, maybe that's how they feast until they can finally escape and spread,
Stuff like that is like, I think obviously we get a lot of like, I think Bad Batch did this very well, where you get a lot of these like crazy creatures and stuff like that, Also, I mean, you get
I think Mendo does that as well too. I actually love those parts where it's like a new monster animal thing in Star Wars. I think that's sick. I think that's so cool.
That stuff is awesome. I like, one of my favorite examples is not even, well, I'm pretty sure this is them in Bad Batch, technically some sort of experimented form on it, but of course the Dringir in the High Republic.
Yes, I love the Dringir. Yes,
they're
I actually
really
think
cool.
they didn't use them enough in the phases of High Republic.
Yeah,
straight up.
Have you read Dark Legends, the small like Dark Legends book by George Mann?
Trying to think about. Oh yes. I love
like
Dark
each
Legends.
chapter is like a different like short story.
The Drangnir one only comes in the Target edition, which I didn't have. Which was lame AF. Okay.
Yeah. I got those on eBay. Yeah. I sniped those.
That's sick.
But like, dude, there's some awesome ones. Like again, like that Jedi that like has the pendant that's like suppressing his darkness and stuff, and he's causing murders. Or like my favorite one, absolute favorite chapter in that book, is when those miners they're trying to find that treasure on that planet or whatever, and it's like this princess, and she's so peaceful, and she was this like amicable ruler, and she was so inspirational in the system, and they go to the vault, and she's actually a Sith Lord, and that it was all like a fabricated, and they're like, and she just wipes them all out and goes back into her tomb. I'm like,
I think those have some of the best stories too in new canon. Like I think they're so good. There was one that's Myth and Fables, I think was the first one that came out, and that was about the I can't remember his name. I don't know if it was like the Wanderer or something that they had in.
Oh, like, was it
like
one about the Jedi that would come and like would protect the town and leave?
And protect the town, yeah. And then the sequel to that is like, is this the same character that also turned to the dark side randomly? Which I didn't like. I would like to think that they're two different characters, but that story of the Jedi doing Jedi things is, I feel like we don't get enough stories in Star Wars of like Jedi being actual Jedi, peace and guardians, of the galaxy. I love that.
Yeah.
That was
also another one in Myth and Fables that I thought was great. I think this is actually in the Galaxy's Edge edition, but I have digitally, because they did 3 versions of that book, which was very annoying.
They did.
But the last chapter is like the people that discovered Batu, that it was like this like basically like race across the galaxy to like discover this new planet is really cool, and why it's called like the Surabat River Valley and everything. Like
that's
why it's
cool.
named.
Yeah,
like that's a fun that little stuff like that is where I'm like, I want more stories like this on screen.
Yeah,
because
I actually really like the Galaxy's Edge book, the story with Vi Maradi. That one,
I haven't read that one yet.
Solid. That one's good. Because at the time, Last Jedi had just came out. That was one of the only books that started after the Last Jedi.
Yeah,
and I'm. Say what you want about the sequel trilogy. I wasn't too fond of that movie, but I liked that book. I thought that book was so good, set up Galaxy's Edge really well and stuff like that. I like Vi Moradi. I think they should have used her a lot more in media. I really liked her character, especially the tie with everything in Phasma.
Yes,
and everything else. Yeah. So I just thought that book was really good. I don't know. I just think a lot of the new continuity is solid. I think they need to use it more. I think they need to take a little bit more risks.
That's my thing is like last week was it not last week 2 weeks ago we were talking about like what we were ranking what were we ranking? Will we were talking about the characters that like was it the characters that like represent Star Wars that are not, or like was it like comic book characters or like we were talking about the top 10 new characters, Disney characters.
Yeah, it was like the top 15 of the Disney era or something like that.
Yeah,
that's right. And I think I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, and a lot of people brought up some people like not Phasma. They brought up Afra and stuff like the characters Afra. Like that. Yeah, people like love that character and like dude, I was convinced that Afra was going to be in Skeleton Crew. Convinced.
I think Afra was supposed to be in so much. I love that first run with Vader, and I just feel like I do not know how you don't tell more stories about this character. But then I think they changed the writer. I think they changed the art of her comics and everything. So I felt like it was just a little weaker than what previously came before. But yeah, she was up there. But I still don't think any new character has been as strong as Mando, though. I just feel like Mando's just
at least when it comes to like, the kind of the reach that character has for sure.
Exactly.
I mean, there's characters that I think, we talked about it last week that like, I do think Cassian or some character from Andor, when it comes to sheer writing, is just like,
the
charts,
sure.
But like Mando is obviously more of the like poster boy when it comes to like,
yes,
that dude's
100%
getting around,
Yeah, no, he is. Yeah, I mean, because like, with everything that he's like attached to, it's just like Grogu's Pikachu, where everyone calls him, Baby Yoda. It's just like, even if you don't watch Star Wars, you know who Baby Yoda is.
Yeah.
So you probably know who Mando is. And so that's all. I think that branding is insane. They really, really got lightning in a bottle there.
Oh yeah. I'm gonna use the bathroom. I'm gonna let y'all take care of the rest of it. I'll be right back.
Grayson's turn.
Yeah. I'll give it like 5 seconds. Okay, sick. I was waiting for him to leave because my wife got this from work today. She works at the library, and I really hope he's not listening right now, or if he kept his earphones on. Okay. I really hope he didn't keep his earphones on.
That'd be insane.
So when Superman 2025 came out, they did a Daily Planet with USA Today where it was supposed to look like the Daily Planet, and I have that, but they just did one for Daily Bugle with Spider-Man. So it's like written in universe, and it's like Daily Bugle, and at the top it's like Tony Stark's dry cleaner up close with Iron Man, Matt Murdock's objects to non-ADA compliant buildings. There's like a Roxxon ad down here where it's like Roxxon rock socks. But I got this and I'm gonna give it to him. But my wife was supposed to bring it home yesterday, and she was like, "Oh, I forgot it, but I have it on my desk."
That's sick.
What I also
that is actually sick.
What we are going to do is, and I figured Hannah would enjoy that. What we are going to do when Grayson gets back, we're going to do rank Ferric. We're gonna pop in and do that. Hannah, if you're looking for this newspaper, check your local library wherever there's a USA Today. I believe this is from last week. I don't know. This is from June. No, this is from almost 2 weeks ago. This is June 16th. So check at like local libraries.
Oh wow, June 16th. That's crazy. That was the day before my birthday.
Really?
Crazy. Yeah.
They might be giving that away.
Yeah.
Or if you're just like, hey, do you need this newspaper? Can I have it? You
That's
definitely
sick.
go check your local libraries because they always get the new publication stuff. Okay. We got like 3 things that we're gonna do. We're gonna do like, let's see. Yeah, we're gonna do 2 Mount Rushmores.
Nice.
And then we're gonna do one other thing that I didn't tell Grayson about.
Nice.
Were you and Grayson?
I did. Oh, really?
Were you and Grayson have to
Tag
work
team.
together?
Yeah.
Oh shit. Okay.
I told him we were doing something else, but I figured.
Yeah.
We're gonna switch.
Hopefully it's not. That's sick. I'm actually excited.
What were you gonna say?
I cannot remember. Sorry, I'm like
when I said the thing about the Sith Mount Rushmore, you were like,
"Oh yes, yeah," because I watch you guys' clips a lot, and I bring them on my Dark Temple stream and everything. And we did a Mount Rushmore for red lightsabers as well, with Starlight, Jedi and Daddy Sheev, and of course I was like pulling out all these like side stupid ass characters from Legends continuity 40 years. And I was just like, yeah, I know, I get it, I understand. And one of them I picked out actually was Luke Skywalker. Funny enough, was up there, yeah, because when Lumaya beats his ass, he has to make a second lightsaber, and he ends up using a red lightsaber Shoto. And I thought that was one of the coolest things in Star Wars.
Crack that
actually
whip.
Sick.
Hey, why were you being weird when I left? Why are you being weird? Why are you asking about if I had my headphones still on?
Did you have your headphones on? Did you have your
as soon
headphones on the whole time?
as soon as you said that, I was like, I feel like he's being weird and coy about something, so I'm gonna put my headphones down.
And you know why I said that? Because I figured you might do that. So that's exactly
and you
why
said something about Superman 2025, and then I put my headphones down and I was like, I'm going to the bathroom.
At least he's a good sport about it. That's actually really good. Way to go, Grayson. Way to go.
I try to enact reservation. Okay.
he's a cordless earphones guy, so he can just get up and go.
I also
walk around his
hate
home.
having headphones on though, because when I was a kid, I'd get that like headphone dent, and I'm like, I can't be messing up. Oh look, I've already got it. It's already happening.
Rap
Oh
name.
yeah, see, yeah, I stopped doing that too because I feel like it messes with my discount Ben Solo look, so I just stop and
Discount Ben Solo.
That's
All right.
awesome.
We should probably get into rank Ferric before we wrap things up.
Okay.
Is that cool?
It's rank Ferric time.
Think Ferric.
Welcome back to Rank Ferric, everybody's favorite clip farming segment of the Determined Focus podcast. Do not call me Uncle Owen because I am not farming moisture. I'm farming clips, baby. It's time for Rank Ferric. Okay, we got 3 things to do. The first thing, one of those things, I just told Mr. Sir Lord Dagavir himself. Grayson, I told you we were going to do one thing, but I'm actually switching it up on you, and you guys have to work together. This is going to be a keep 3, cut 5.
Oh
shit.
This is a keep 3, cut 5. Wait, hold on. I might be able to give you some leeway on it. 1, 2, 3. I will say keep 4, cut 5. Keep 4, cut 5. Okay. These are going to be all Legends characters.
Oh,
I'm that Pedro Pascal. I'm like,
yeah,
just like started crying.
These are going to be all Legends characters because this is also going to lead us into our Legends characters Mount Rushmore that we will be doing right after this.
Okay.
So, okay. You have 5 cuts and 4 keeps.
And him and I were working together.
Yes, you guys have to come to an agreement. No altering of the deal.
Oh, I don't know. Yeah, you got to do it. You got to do it. You got to do the ready up.
You can do it.
Ready up.
Yeah. He did the thing. He did the thing. Okay. The first character is Jolie Bindo.
Wow. Okay, well. Oh, we have to do this right now.
We have to. We have to cut.
Damn it, bro.
It's a. So here's the thing.
I
know what he's doing. Is
gotta cut him.
What?
You have to cut him.
I'm going to be completely honest. I am reading this in the list that I made them from me remembering them. This is not me being like, I'm going to wait for the last one to say blah, blah, blah.
Jolie Bindo is a fascinating character, and he's so compelling. But I am so worried that this is the first person that we're seeing. I don't know what Will's cooking up, so I'm going to have to pass. Because I can't pass on 4 other characters. Look, he's amazing. He's my guy. He's my boy. But I just can't do it today. Sorry. Sorry, big dog.
Wow.
So
Yeah, no, you're probably right. I probably should cut him, even though I do love him so dearly.
Okay,
He's
that's
so
a
good.
cut for Jolie Bindo. You are down 1 cut.
Crazy.
Okay.
How many are there? 9? They're 9?
There's
that what it
so
is?
yeah, there's 9 characters.
Okay.
So
Okay.
4 keep, 5 cut.
Right.
Damn, it's a draft. Right here, though.
The next character is Kyle Katarn.
God damn.
Yeah, we have to keep him. We have to.
We have to keep him. Yeah, we have to
Okay.
keep him.
Okay.
Yeah, we have to
That was
keep
a
him.
pretty
God.
that was a pretty easy keep.
That's my
Keep
boy.
him.
That's my
Yeah,
guy.
we have to keep him. We have to keep Kyle.
Okay. I will also say once you run out of cuts, you have to keep
Yeah.
everyone else that's listed. You only
Oh,
have 5.
brother.
So it's not like you can
Oh,
keep cutting
no.
people to get your once you run out of 5 cuts. You run out
Oh,
of 5
wow. Okay.
Cuts. So, okay.
All right. So we just
Uh,
have 4 more.
So the next character is Darth Crate.
Cutting.
Cut.
Cutting.
Yeah.
Okay. See you, Darth Crate.
Overrated.
Wow. I don't know about that.
I don't know about that. Seth from Beyond the Dune Sea would have other things to say about that.
I remember when he was rumored to be, he was going to be the bad guy in the Kenobi show and not Vader.
Amy Adams is playing Darth Crate in Star Wars Starfighter.
Oh my
Okay. The next character is Exarchon.
Oh, keep, baby. No, I will die if you do this, Grayson. I will leave the pod right now.
It's fine.
I will hit
No,
the button.
we have to keep that guy.
Okay.
Like,
Right, go.
is he? Would you
That is
consider him the original Sith Lord? Like,
He is the Dark Lord of the Sith, baby. There is so
Okay.
because that's why Tales of the Jedi is so good because it builds up to that. I wouldn't say that he's the original Sith Lord because he talk about the peoples and it's a whole political colonizing thing and everything with Korriban and the Dark Jedi and stuff. But he is the
He's the
Dark
first.
Lord of the
Yeah.
Sith, baby. Woo!
yeah.
Okay.
God, there
I
was
knew
no time to
that
talk
was
about
gonna
him.
be. I knew that was gonna be after, and I'm like, and I love him. So, and I'm cool.
Yeah.
I'm chill.
Yeah.
Next character is Abeloth.
Cut.
Get it.
Deuces, get out of here.
Yeah,
Get
see
out of here.
ya,
I love
Ahsoka
Abeloth
season
though. I love Abeloth, but get out of here.
It's a
Yeah,
great,
Ahsoka season
great character. Like, really fascinating character. But
What it opens up, yeah, I think so. That's why I like the idea of that character.
You currently have 2 cuts left and 2 keep left. The next character is Bastila Shan.
here's my hot take. I don't really like Bastila that much.
So I would cut Bastila because there are other characters that I would keep that are related to her.
Yes.
So I think I'm gonna have to go Bastila.
We should have kept Jolie. God.
We don't know who the other 3 are.
I could get. No, I can't guess. Actually, he's picking characters I never would have thought he would have guessed. He's gonna put Star Killer on here. I know he is.
Hold on, sorry, I'm trying to delete the characters that you've already picked. Okay. The next character is Corran Horn.
See, I don't care about Corran, dude.
I love Cornhorn, but I'm afraid of who else is coming. I don't know if I could pick Cornhorn over the other characters that I like. I think I'm gonna have to pass on my boy.
I listen. My take is
Damn
that
it.
everything. Granted, I've not read all the X-wing books. I do have them right here. But my thing is, I'm like, I respect the whole Corran Horn thing, but like, I think Kyle Katarn does it better. I think Kyle Katarn does the whole Chuck Norris thing better.
Okay, so you're cutting Corran Horn.
I think so.
Okay, so the end of your keep list. Well, let's
have to
go over
keep-
your. Yeah, you have to
Yeah.
keep the last 2.
The last 2, yeah.
So the end of your. Let's do your cut list first. The characters that
Yeah.
you have cut is Jolie Bindo, Darth
Yeah.
Crate, Abeloth, Bastila Shan,
Yeah.
and Corran Horn.
Yeah.
That means the characters, the 2 that you were filling in to keep, are Darth Malik.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Revan.
I'm out. I knew it, baby. Oh yeah,
dude. That actually is okay. That's actually a goated lineup.
Yeah.
Kyle Katarn,
Let's go.
Exarchun, Revan, and Darth Malik.
Let's go.
I love Revan, but I FW Malik heavily.
Yeah. I was worried you were going to say Satil because I would always take Satil over Bastila, or Nomi Sunrider or something. So I was worried about the big guns coming out later.
I am so
was
happy
another
you
one.
told. I'm so happy you told the story about Lumaya because I immediately deleted her name from the list. I had her on here initially.
That would have been tough.
I also had HK on here.
See if
that was a good one.
That would have been a game.
Yeah, that would have been tough.
Yeah, I had HK on here. Originally today, I was thinking about putting Talon Card on here as one of the early names, but I was like, we already talked about him.
I don't know if I would keep him over everybody else that we
If you had put like a Rom Coda, I would have been begging.
Yeah.
I would. That's.
I tried to keep this without Force Unleashed.
I appreciate that you kept it pretty Old Republic and Bantam. I respect that because I feel like we talk about it a lot. Everybody goes for like Force Unleashed, Thrawn trilogy, whatever. But it's like no,
NJO,
yeah.
I was thinking about this would have been a wild one to start you off with. I was trying to think of one that was crazy to start off with, and I went with Jolie, but Cartho Nassi was who I was going to start.
Oh my god!
And just see where you guys would go with that, and then that would have like dropped everybody down one. But
okay. People dog on Karth a lot. I like Karth.
I'm
not. I think
I might have. I think I might have wanted him to walk.
I would have cut him for sure.
Yeah.
What you should have said, Will, you should have said Waru from the Crystal Star.
I would have absolutely taken him.
Honestly, I probably would have been too for the bit.
I almost just spit out my water all over my computer screen.
I love Waru, dude. I think Waru is so sick.
That would have been insane.
No love for Canderous Ordos.
I'm so surprised Mara is not on there.
I kind of figured if I threw her name, you guys would have cut her.
That would have been hilarious.
I
like Mara. I like Mara.
I know, but I knew you were waiting for like Revan and
exactly. Treya Malgus. I was definitely waiting for Lumaya for sure. Definitely.
Okay. There is also one that if it would have come up, I would have cut him, but I don't think you would have. I think there would have been Nihilus.
I would have cut Nihilus.
Really? Wow.
I would have cut Nihilus. Yeah. I love Nihilus. I think he's pretty sick. I just think he's a little overglazed.
I agree.
I like when I make my top 10 Sith Lords, he's not in my top 10.
The fit, the drip definitely carries for Nihilus.
Oh yeah. Yeah, top 2, baby, for sure. And I don't even know.
Design.
Yeah.
He's like
he's cool
he's like the Scream of Star Wars.
I've always thought he's one of those characters though that like shouldn't have a lightsaber or like wouldn't like need a lightsaber sort of thing. So whenever I see him roaming around with a light, I mean he looks sick, obviously, but I'm like, this guy's like an entity, like he's not even like a person anymore.
He just has a prune face assault rifle instead.
The Car 98.
All right, the next two things, and you guys can pick which one we do next. We have 2 Mount Rushmores to do.
Oh, let's go.
I think because we just did a whole bunch of legends, it would make sense to do the Mount Rushmore of legends. However, I do think if we have the time, a Mount Rushmore of Sith would be fun to do.
I would love to do that. Yeah.
With new eyes on the list. So I'm thinking while the Legends characters are on our mind, we do that just with the amount of Legends characters that were listed over the last however long we did that. And then from there, we can probably go into the Sith list. Okay.
I'm cool. I'm cool to start with Legends first.
Yeah.
We've obviously done it before. Darius, who is a character that you think like has to be on the Mount Rushmore of like Legends characters? And I will say that like there's a character, obviously, like I have a character in mind that I'm like I would not include on this list specifically because how prevalent he is now in canon.
Yeah, absolutely.
But like there's other characters where it's like, okay, if this character was mentioned in a Rise of Skywalker source book, and that's the only other thing that's like, okay, it's still a Legends character, you know?
So that would be like a Thrawn, essentially, is that what
right? I'm like, I'm not putting like as much as I love Thrawn's iconic. I'm not putting him on the Mount Rushmore because now he has transcended Legends status. You know?
Yep,
I agree.
Yeah,
I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, like I think most of my answers I think are gonna be like, you know, basically tick shit you see on like TikTok answers, you know, just like because I think like Revan from Knights of the Old Republic is the Empire Strikes Back for people that played video games. Like that was their experience of Empire Strikes Back video games. So it's at least for the people that actually played it and not just reading Reddit and TikTok. That was one of the greatest video game experiences of all time that I think people still continuously try to find that fix again. Like for me, like playing Halo 2 for the first time online, you know, like it's just like one of those things where like I don't know if I'll ever get that again, which is why Revan, even though there's a lot of people out there with those profile pictures that do not have a very good vibe that we don't really appreciate, you know, Revan is still a very important character, I think, to the continuity of Star Wars.
I have a hard time not putting Revan.
I don't think he was on our initial list. I think we were talking about her earlier, and she is on the thumbnail of the stream. I do think the number one, and maybe not the number one, but one character who I think has to be on this list in terms of iconicity and just when people think of Legends is Mara Jade.
I don't disagree. Yeah, especially with how. I mean, Luke's had a lot of love interests, but Mara Jade, I think, is a very special character because I think that's why Heir to the Empire is so sought after in terms of like, man, I wish I got this experience because there's just a lot of like Luke in that book, and I love that couple so much. And then you also know about her backstory and like she's supposed to be there in Return of the Jedi, you know, in with Jabba right behind Jabba the Hutt dancing around. You know, and so if things don't go the same way that it does in the movies, maybe Luke doesn't make it back. And, you know, he ends up dying and, you know, and ends up there. And I just think how they become from haters to lovers. I always love that. And everything else with New Jedi Order and the kids and everything else and Lumaya. Yes, I would also agree that Mara Jade is extremely important to that entire story.
She really is like, I think when it comes to like post Return of the Jedi, you think of, people obviously think of a Thrawn. It's like that trilogy. It's like, okay, it's Thrawn and Mara Jade. Now, Mara, not very prevalent in the first book, but she's kind of in the back burner. So, well, actually not true until they get to Merker, sort of thing.
Yeah.
But then she starts to really take that forefront as like actually like a POV character once you get to like Dark Force Rising, and then her payoff in Last Command is like awesome. Like that, that was when I was going to that trilogy. I was like, listen. The stuff that I'm most excited for is Luke Skywalker and Mara Jade. And that was the stuff that I came out of that trilogy being like, yep, that hit, you know? And obviously you can get into the whole weeds of like the way she died. It was a little unceremonious and that was kind of controversial in Legends. But even then, Mara Jade is like tentpole character for Legends for sure.
100%. Yeah. So Revan,
we have
Mara.
We have Revan and Mara. We have an Old Republic character. We have a NJO post Return of the Jedi.
Yeah.
It's okay. Obviously, like again, you said like the TikTok list thing, whatever. Is like people are automatically gonna be like Star Killer or The Secret Apprentice.
It's hard not to have him on this list.
It's hard not to have him, but also is he really okay? It's like you have to weigh it out of like, okay, his face and that character is so famous and that game is and everything for being so significant to the EU. That game is what got me into the EU so much, even though I was into stuff in the EU prior. Like Kyle Katarn was really my gateway into the EU, you know? As much as I love my boy Kyle Katarn, I don't know if he's making it on this list. I don't think he's rising past the ranks of some of these other characters. But I'm like...
I get my thing when it comes to Starkiller is like if you were to ask a group of people and like show them a photo of Starkiller and like you showed them a random 10 Legends characters, I would say more people are going to get Starkiller over a Nihilus, over a Malik, over a Bane, over a like Exarchun, like all of those characters,
Yeah,
maybe even over a
100%.
Revan,
Yeah.
maybe even over a Mara Jade. Like he is so prevalent to the history of like front facing Star Wars. And anytime Sam Witwer does anything, there are whispers of Starkiller.
Yeah.
Like
all the time.
I really think it's hard not to have him on the list. I could hear arguments for other people if I was convinced otherwise, but like for the amount of people who just talk about Starkiller all of the time, I feel like very much in the same way of like how you can't not have Mara on the list. It's like
I also think about his character, his story, in the sense of like the entire premise of his character is inherently EU. The fact that they're like, oh, but actually Darth Vader had this secret apprentice, you know, not relevant to the movies whatsoever, but immediately that hook goes you in, you're like, wait, what? And there's this whole story about this secret apprentice, you know, which is like, of course, you're tying it to a very significant character from the source material, the movies, you know. But it's like, it's also hard when you have characters like Horn and Kyle Katarn and
Joris Sabayoth
and Jaina Solo and, you know, like all the like.
Yeah, that's why I think. I mean, honestly, I would, and if it was just me, I would probably switch out Mara for Kyle specifically because I think that they represent the entire era of that.
Oh wow!
So Mara is, I just see them as a placeholder. They're the same. You know, no matter who you put in there, I think Mara represents NJO. I think Kyle represents NJO. And I think
do you think so though? Because considering Kyle is not in nearly as much content as Mara.
But when I think about it, like I'm thinking about like video games, like Starkiller and Force Unleashed comes out around like what 2007, 2008, and that was like a very like prime time for the EU. So that was like, okay, this game is coming out. Bam! Everybody all of a sudden knows Starkiller, Secret Apprentice. You know the whole stories. I think it was just a very insane like media development and just like promotion, and like everybody knows Starkiller. We're waiting for the Force Unleashed 2 now, you know. And then Kyle Katarn is in a lot of video games. Mara Jade is in a video game as well with Kyle Katarn, and then of course the stories with that. So I kind of see like the expanded universe and its multimedia is like very important, but they're all representing the same era of Star Wars, which is NJO, which is why I don't mind. Which is why I think they're both like templates or placeholders for that era.
Do you think to use the like photos analogy again, if you like polled 100 people who are like Star Wars fans of any range, people who know, people who don't know, and you showed a photo of Mara and then you showed a photo of Kyle, how many people do you think more would get Kyle than Mara Jade?
I think it'd be pretty close.
Really?
Because of the games. Because of Kyle Katarn's games. Like I think Dark Forces is a pretty big game, and those were like live action cinematics too. You know,
here's
like
my
actors.
thing. When it comes to video games, though, is immediately when I start thinking of Star Wars video games. As much as I love Kyle Katarn,
the
N64 was a very big platform.
Yes.
And I think I'm not a big fan of the guy, but part of me can't help but think Dash Rendar.
I was gonna bring his name up.
I don't hate that. My only argument is that he's not in as nearly as much media as those other characters. That's the only problem that I would have. But again, I think it's like the era that they're representing, because Dash is in my opinion, is a big name, even though he has like nothing else, you know.
Yeah.
But again,
that you lean more to like a Shizor, maybe? Would that be more? But it's also Shizor's is kind of low rate green Thrawn, you know, like
yeah. It's I wouldn't put them up there over Mara or Kyle. Yeah.
Kyle
Or
is hard for
Starkiller.
me if I was like between Kyle and Mara, and I think I would have to go Mara only because there is the thing of, and I brought it up earlier when we were talking about Mara, of like you don't get a lot of Kyle Katarn merchandise nowadays, but
No.
you still get some Mara stuff. Like Mara, you can go get Mara's saber in the parks. There's a new Funko Pop out right now with Mara. Like
people cosplay out Mara Jade a lot as well.
Oh my
god! You go to
gosh.
conventions, it's like, and that's like you think of like Star Wars
Also,
cosplays.
This might be blasphemous, sacrilegious to say. I think if you were to show a lot of people a photo of Kyle Katarn, they'd say, "Is that Kanan Jarrus?"
I don't think so.
I don't. That's not the train of thought that I was thinking. But I was thinking again, as much as I love Kyle Katarn, when I think about the pantheon of like EU characters and stuff, when you have characters like Corran Horn and Dash Rendar, like you have white muscular dudes who are like really good at everything. It makes you think like, okay, like Mara Jade has a silhouette to her. She has a, like, you see the purple lightsaber or the black jumpsuit and the fiery red hair, and you go, oh, that's Mara Jade. She stands out. There is not another character. I think the only character that would look similar to her silhouette would be Jaina, but Jaina's more in the flight suit, and she's got dark hair, right? And so, like, again, there's that, like,
suit.
Yeah.
This is what I mean by the Kyle Katarn Kanan thing of like, I feel like if people have not heard of Kanan or Kyle Katarn and they know of Kanan Jarrus, people go, is that a live action Kanan Jarrus? You know what I mean? It's like nobody's going to do that with a Mara Jade. They're only going to say Mara Jade.
Yeah.
I don't think that's a bad take, because if we really think about it too, 2015 Force Awakens comes out, and then Luke Skywalker is sitting there on Octu looking at what I thought was a grave.
Yep.
And maybe potentially the Mara Jade stuff, it gets even more exponentially more popular with everything else that was going on. Kyle Katarn didn't get that, but Kyle Katarn's blaster is in Andor. So
I will say, I think when it comes to like explaining the Star Killer of it all, of like anytime Sam Witwer does anything, people go, Star Killer? Star Killer?
Yes.
Anytime there are more than just a few reasons why. I mean, people are doing. We literally did it for the first 45 minutes of this episode with Starfighter and Amy Adams and Mara Jade. Like she is like bait for Star Wars in terms of like theorizing things immediately, because also whenever something happens, they go, well, how can Mara Jade fit into this? And
also automatically, because she's a woman, that gives her a lot of power in the sense that like there's not a whole lot, like, I mean, there's a lot of Legends characters, and when you think of like not even just like EU, but when you think of Star Wars characters and like Star Wars women, Mara Jade is immediately brought up into the discussion. You think Rey, you think Padme, you think Leia. People are like, well, what about Mara Jade? Right?
I don't disagree. I think those are solid points, which is why I'm probably more inclined to keeping her on there.
Yeah, I think you have to. And honestly, I do think you have to keep Starkiller as well, because of how colossal that game was, And again, not in as much content, but the weight of like that getting people into the EU and like people seeing the whole Star Destroyer being pulled out of the sky and everything that like that.
Yes. Even for people that never played that game, that's very like, oh my God. Wow, I need to know about who Starkiller is. And I think
the amount of people that
also has a lot of fans that just never played the game, never read the books or anything.
It's so that thing of like you're talking to that guy at the comic shop and absolutely. It's like that thing about you're like talking to the guy at the comic shop or whatever, of like, oh, they're like dogging on a Star Wars character and they're like, well, who's your favorite Star Wars character? And you're like, well, have you ever heard of Starkiller? It's like it sucks to hear, because it's like, yeah, I know about Starkiller, but it's like, but it's true, like. And also, like, you think about, like, Starkiller's lightsaber, like, not to get into, like, and this is something I consider as well beyond the story, but, like, the amount of, like, saber companies and stuff that, like, have Starkiller's lightsaber, it's like, they don't have a whole lot of Legends lightsabers. They typically have Malgus and they have Starkiller. And those are the two, because those are the most, like, the ones that stand out,
So then who's that fourth spot?
That's it. Because I feel like we have. You think it's Bane? But see, now here's the thing. how much Ship of Theseus do we go with Bane?
So I think Bane isn't so important because we talk about the rule of two in the movies. It's kind of like one of those things where that's where it starts. Revan is there. It's almost like the pillars of Star Wars, and it's like you're leading you into the movies in terms of everything else that happens after. I think everything okay, Grayson?
I just heard a very loud bang outside my house, but it's fine. We're fine here now. How are you?
We're fine. Yeah. But I think Bane and the Plagueis novel are kind of like gateways to the rest of the EU.
It's true.
And I think if you're starting in outside of Knights of the Old Republic, I think those are usually stuff people dip into outside of Heir to the Empire. And that's already being represented on Mount Rushmore. So
that's a good point. Because I think right now you've got Revan and Starkiller as big video game presence, and Revan also carrying the Old Republic torch, right? Obviously, it's you can honorable mentions and stuff of like Amalgus or Bastila or whatever stuff like that. But it's like, but again, I don't think they're outweighing a lot of those other options, So I'm like, I don't hate that.
I would not say this character is the fourth spot. I would say this is probably like when you look at all the data and you do the math and you add it all up, I do think there's an argument here that Legends Luke Skywalker would be like a close fifth, just because like so much of when people think about Legends, they think about Luke Skywalker in Legends
all the time.
Like he is such a prominent figure. I would say most people's, like, when they start diving into the lore of Luke Skywalker, it's predominantly Legends.
Yeah. 100%.
It's very hard to find canon lore for him at this point.
Yeah, I would put Luke in that spot over Mara for me, but that's because we have this character in new canon. So I didn't want to take that spot away from
it's also
we don't have.
I do think you have to bring a character that originates from Legends.
I agree.
Exactly. I also agree with that too. Yes. Yeah, because I know people are going to see this graphic. They go, what about this guy? What about that guy? Well, I mean, the whole point is representing the eras in which they came from. So Mara represents this as well as Legends Luke because it's a different story, So I don't hate that.
So Bane is that fourth spot.
I don't, and I guess you could get away with Bane as well because again, his representation in canon is so little. Like we just know basically, I guess you make a great point. Is like they never say Bane in the movies, right? They just say, "Oh, the rule of two." Then they make exactly. They make the Bane books, and then Clone Wars goes, "Oh, Bane is now canon," or and then that continues. That carries that on. Yeah. So I guess in that way. Yeah, you gotta go Bane.
I think he's right there because if you're not putting Plagueis, if you're not putting some of these other characters on there, like the honorable mentions for me are like factions like the Vong, and the Rakatans, which is like a really big piece of Legends continuity because if you're going down Legends Luke Skywalker, you're also going down New Jedi Order, which is the Vong, and the Vong is a very big important piece of all that too, which is like it has to be there with the Rakatans and the Schisms and of course the Vong, which is like that's the story. Is
there a specific Vong that you would choose?
Jeez, I mean, I would just say the Vong, honestly, because I think that's the whole like they're so enigmatic from like a movie standpoint. Of like a movie only fan is not going to understand how crazy it is when this happens and what's going on in that story. And I just think that when you start dipping in, you're eventually going to find these breadcrumbs about this other faction that is absolutely insane that may not be movie ready, and I think that's, and also, the same thing too with like the, I always can never say them, even though I've always read them, is the Samari. Which is also like Thrawn and things like that. So I think that's also a piece with the Vong has that people just don't really understand until they dip into that, and I think that's why they represent the EU so well.
This is true. That is a very considering how many books there are, but it's also like you have to go Bane because of how much like informative he is of the Sith. You know,
exactly. Yeah.
Is Bane in canon enough that he falls into the Thrawn category? What would have to happen? That
I don't think so at all.
Category.
They would need a Tales of something, in my opinion.
Yeah, they would need to have, like some sort of like story about Bane, because right now we can
and an expanded universe on top of the Plagueis novel. Like everyone's talking about the Rule of Two, Master and Apprentice. So anything with Baneite Sith is Master and Apprentice, and I think that leads back to him, which is why the little bit of Clone Wars that you have of him isn't enough. But that Mortis arc too, those deleted scenes with like Bane and Revan.
See, that's the stuff.
Also a big thing for me.
Yeah,
that was like this close. Same thing with the Vong. This close. Star Killer. This close. You know.
Yeah. It is kind of crazy in that deleted scene as well that he has the Orbalisk armor.
Yes.
It's very
crazy.
It's strange to me that they made that model and everything. They were working that model, and then they were like, and also then proceed to use a completely different model for him later on, which is like, I mean, I guess that was a full 3 seasons later, but still.
They definitely pivoted a lot, which I'm okay with. But then the Rise of Skywalker art book also has like all the freaking Sith from Revan and Nihilus and everybody else that's on there on Exegol in the concept art, which is also crazy to me. It's like the old scriptures of the Bible or something. So.
I low key cannot stand the Orbalisk Davy Jones looking armor for it. I cannot.
I'm also up there with it. I love Bane's original look in Path of Destruction more than anything else.
His just like the black diamonds over his kind of face paint and just like pure bald muscle man.
Sick. I don't need him to look like a porcupine, dude. Like sucks.
Yeah,
I will say the new canon look for him is kind of gas too. I
don't hate it. Yeah, I don't hate it.
Like the
it's very mythical.
Like the terracotta warrior aspect of it. Okay, so then our 4 is Revan, Mara Jade, Starkiller, and Darth Bane. Okay.
I feel happy with that.
Should we do Sith? Should we do Sith?
I'm down. Yeah, I'm down.
And then we'll wrap up
this is another Mount Rushmore Sith?
Mount Rushmore of Sith.
Sheesh.
There's no way. Okay, there's no way Vader is not on this list. When anybody says no, just Sith in general.
Okay.
Yeah, this is the Mount Rushmore of Sith. Not we can do
so
Legends.
Like all continuity.
This is everything.
Holy shit! No, I don't know if he's. I mean, yeah,
Vader.
Yeah.
If you say Sith
just
to somebody walking on the street, they're going to think of that mask.
I would
1A, 1B of when you show somebody a photo of Vader, they go Star Wars, Sith.
Yeah.
And then maybe like Anakin Skywalker.
I'm trying to fight my bias because I'm a big Anakin Vader fan. Yeah, I know. Because there's only 3 other spots.
Okay, here's my thing: does Palpatine belong on the list? Then
see, and that's another thing too, because I would argue that he is a Sith, but he's not really a Sith. He's kind of like a rule of 1, and he's not following the rule of 2. You know, he's just an asshole Darksider that is all about himself. You know, but I would probably play it safe and put Vader up there because I think Sidious is so. I don't know if people are ready for that debate in general.
If you think of all of the marketing for our entire lives, especially during the time of the prequels.
Yeah.
There were posters of like blue side, red side. And one would say Jedi
Sith,
and one
Sith
would say
happens.
Sith.
Yeah, Sith happens.
It's always Vader and Palpatine but
yes,
always Vader.
But it is. I get both the points. I get from a marketing standpoint and from a public society standpoint. Yeah, Vader carries. But I also get from like the lore standpoint of like, well, Vader is not.
I'm thinking of all continuity in general, and I'm just thinking of so many other characters. But because of Vader and who he is, and I also think that Legends fans low key like disrespect Vader a lot, and they don't understand like how much of a dog Vader is.
Yeah.
I'm probably putting Vader on there.
Yeah.
I think the disrespect is too much these days.
I also think Canon carries Vader a lot because, like, again, that has been one of the most consistently, like, just one-to-one, like, beautiful continuation of his character. Like, you get stuff like the Vader comics and his interpretation in Shadow Lord and Rogue One, and you're just like, yep.
Yeah, he's so good. They do not miss with him.
No,
they do.
They know what they're doing with him. So Vader is the gimme. Vader is like, and I even think it's like, again, you can separate the whole Anakin Vader thing. It's like, but the fact that like even in canon, like Vader was like worshipped even beyond his death, and people didn't know. Like, I mean, the fact that Kylo was like worshiping his grandfather as Vader is kind of insane, you know. Even though
I think that's what's something that the new canon does really good with Acolyte to the Beyond. Is like how they're praising Vader specifically, you know, not Sidious. It's just like, I love this guy. Let me find his lightsaber and stuff. That was really sick. Yeah,
I love that stuff. It's gas. Okay, well then then I think the other gimme that we have to have is Bane.
Yeah, I feel like because of everything that he did, because when I think about, I'm not just thinking about popularity. I'm also thinking about influence.
Sure.
Story, you know, but I think the trap here is when you put Bane up there, you also put Revan, because Bane cannot do his work without Revan's work.
But could one say that Bane was the one that finally enacted that? You know, because here's my thing.
This is the conversation. Yeah, this is the debate I always have with Element. Yeah, so let me hear your side. Yeah.
Well, my thing is, I'm like, again, Revan a little wishy-washy. All right, Bane. Sith. That guy's a Sith. Revan, I say he's more wishy-washy than Vader. You know, again, Revan is a great character, but as a Sith, again, what is up with these loud? I swear to God, there's gunshots happening outside my apartment.
It's crazy. Maybe it's the 4th of July is coming up. Maybe it's people doing fireworks.
God, I hope, dude.
That's a very good point. And Jason, you do live in a place where fireworks are going to be launched at any moment.
Yeah, I guess it's true. I did just get past a concert this past weekend, and there was like fireworks at like 1 a.m, and I'm like, please spare me.
It's about
anyway,
that time.
I guess my thing is because I'm like, because Bane was so committed as like creation of Rule of Two, and sorry, I just keep getting distracted. Whereas like Revan again inspired that idea, absolutely, but the memory loss, and then him coming back to the light side, and then like, you know, the whole like Revanites thing and stuff of like the kind of like back and forth. I'm like, does he really? Again, I know his mask is so pivotal to like Sith culture, but I'm like, Bane revolutionized the Sith.
I don't think that's a bad take, because when I think of Revan, I do not think of Darth Revan anymore. I think of fully redeemed Jedi Knight Revan.
Yeah.
And I think that's the difference between putting someone like Vader on there, because Vader is also redeemed, depending on who you want to talk to and what your view is. But there are stories and games about Revan after his, you know, especially in Knights of the Republic 2. He's being built up as this huge guy that's going to go and fight like the battle of all battles. And then you have the Star Wars DLC for Star Wars The Old Republic. And then you have the Revan book as well. He is not a Sith in any of that, you know? So I would agree with you. I would not put Revan on this list, because that character story is told and he is no longer a Sith. But I think he's fundamentally important to someone like Bane, because Bane, again, cannot do his work without Revan's holocron.
I agree.
I guess my question there would be, in a very distilled way of looking at it, if Vader is on the list and Bane was on the list, is Revan not to Bane what Sidious is to Vader.
Yeah,
In
I think that's
in a very distilled way.
Yeah, I think that's a very good call out.
Where like Vader is obvious on the list for iconicity and stuff, but like Vader doesn't do that stuff without the tampering of Palpatine. And like I understand that Revan and Bane are much more removed, but like you don't get to Bane, who we are kind of sounds like we are leaning more towards him being on the list than Revan.
Than Revan.
But you also don't get to Bane without Revan, and you don't get to Vader without Palpatine. So that's why I'm like, I think that's kind of, if we're not going to put Palpatine on the list, maybe that is kind of a explanation for, if we're not going to put Revan there, maybe it also makes sense as to why Palpatine's not there. But then I'm also like, I do think it's kind of crazy in terms of like, once again, if you were to ask somebody on the street about the Sith, it's like, the entire saga is about Palpatine being a Sith.
Yeah.
So like
I don't disagree. Yeah. But in this moment, we have both of the respective official apprentice and unofficial apprentice of those characters, which would be Bane and Vader. I think what's also interesting too is like, you know, the main character in the 6 movies is Anakin Vader. The main character in Knights of the Old Republic is Revan, but you never play as Darth Revan. You know, the canon version of that story essentially is Jedi Knight, fully redeemed Revan. So but you are reading about Darth Bane in the book. And so I think those choices and the choices of those characters, I think, make that spot on the Mount Rushmore more important than I think anything else that
you definitely have to have like the devotion of the Sith as well, you know. And I do think Vader is, I mean, yes, he's a conflicted character, but that conflict also allows him to be more fueled by the dark side, which is why, like, again, he is like, despite his redemption and everything, it's a solid 20 years of him being
of trying to convince himself the entire time. Yeah.
Sure.
So then are we going more towards like an Exar Kun, like a Darth Malak, like a Nihilist? Are we going more towards that route? Are we going more towards like, I mean, I feel like I can hear the people typing as we have not mentioned
I know.
Plagueis
100%.
yet.
Yeah.
Like,
yes.
I don't know if Plagueis makes the list, but I am also like, I think he might be more in the confines of rules that we are making right now. He might be more Sith than Sidious with the structure that we have built.
He definitely is. I think his philosophy on the Sith is definitely up there. I guess my thing is, and again, you guys can chime in on this as well. When I read that book, there was a lot of, he was always, you know, he was talking a lot about the Banite stuff and everything, but it very similar to Palpatine. And maybe this is the folly of the Sith down the line, or maybe the folly of the Rule of Two, is that eventually all of them end up being like, well, this is, you know, I'm it, right? Plagueis, you know, before he died was like, we did it. I'm the final line of the Sith, you know?
Yeah.
And then, of course, Palpatine comes in and he's like, actually, it's me, which is the Rule of Two. That is the way of how the Sith work. But then, of course, Palpatine fell into that trap as well.
Yeah, it's the rule of one.
Right, exactly. It was like
it's the rule of one.
And maybe that's always the way of the Sith. Absolutely. As Shakti says in The Force Unleashed, the Sith always betray one another, but I'm sure you'll learn that soon enough. You know. Yeah. But Plagueis really did set pretty much all the chess pieces in motion for the entire saga.
Mm-hmm.
At least if we go based on the novelization.
Like, so he is a foundational brick in the way the Sith look throughout those 9 films.
He was, you know, I mean, and obviously Palpatine did so much of that as well. But like Plagueis is really abiding by that, like hiding in the shadows and being strategic and these little chess pieces. Of course, Palpatine did that as well. But then Palpatine, I think, I don't think Palpatine was as focused on being a Sith as much as he was being an Emperor. You know? Yeah. Obviously, his philosophy led him to the way he was ruling the galaxy. It wasn't just like, well, I'm not a Sith anymore. I've got the galaxy. It's like, no, like that darkness within him was causing him to do all of these horrible things and lead the galaxy in this way. But I do think Plagueis was going to be a little bit more methodical about it, or at least so you can kind of understand. I don't know.
Yeah,
Do you invalidate?
Plagueis wanted it to end. But I would say Plagueis wanted it to end. I would just say that they weren't really they were doing the rule of 2, but it was like, this is it. And then, I just picked the most evil dude in the entire universe. It doesn't even want to be my friend, you know.
Yeah.
So
he doesn't even want to be my friend.
Yeah. It is what it is.
Well, Plagueis,
I don't know.
maybe
Like,
think about not stringing up in the snow while he's naked, and that would that happens at one point.
So I think having Vader on there is important and Bane, because it's the start of the rule of 2 and it's the end of the rule of 2, and I think that's all that you should have for Baneite Sith on the Mount Rushmore, because I think there are other characters that are extremely important, whether it be a Darth Caedus, whether it be a Lumina, whether it be a Crate, or even someone like a Junta Paul, who started basically all of this at the beginning with the Dark Jedis and the Schisms, and then becoming some of the first Dark Lords of the Sith. I would even argue a Junta Paul is essentially more important than someone like Exar Kun, because Exar Kun is someone that, he dies off. He's still around with the Sith. He's still around doing his thing on Yavin until Luke Skywalker comes by. But no one is really learning from XR the same ways like someone's learning from Revan or Bane, or some of these other Sith that have like transcended. That's why I think Ajunta Paul is really interesting, because that whole era of when the Dark Jedi find Korriban and they become the first Dark Lords of the Sith, that's also connected to Darth Krayt, which is so far into the future of the legacy of Star Wars. And you can't really have any of those Dark Lords of the Sith without the Schisms and Ajunta Paul.
Now, one we have not mentioned, I'm shocked you have not mentioned. And again, this is a character that I know a lot about, but I don't.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of bullet points. I don't know all of the fine details.
Yeah.
It's
fine. It's 40 years of continuity. It's going to happen. So I don't want to curse on this thing, but I always say F Vitiate. I can't stand Vitiate. All my homies hate Vitiate. I wouldn't even call Vitiate a Sith at the end of the day, because I think he's just the Sidious times 100. Yeah. But he does start out as a Sith, as everything else. I just don't think that his legacy is as important as like Sidious or Plagueis or whoever else is on the list that we've been talking about.
I do, at least, again, with my knowledge, I don't hate the idea of having Crate on here. Specifically because of how he re-centralized the Sith down the line, Yeah. Again, I don't know if the whole one Sith thing was exactly a good idea, but also it got the Sith back up and running again,
Yeah, and I think what's also interesting with him, because he's a character that's been around since the Clone Wars, which is also extremely important too. And the
fact that he's been like all the way,
exactly, yeah. And it, we talked about Darth Bane, who's on here, and Darth Bane also predicts that there's going to be some asshole Sith that just wants to take all the knowledge for himself. And that, in my opinion, is Sidious. But then also Crate does the same thing with the whole Rule of One as well. He's got other underling Sith, but he's essentially the Sith guy. Yeah. So I wouldn't hate Crate being on here, because he is the end of it all, and and essentially around the time that the Rule of 2 started.
So are we saying that the 4 is Vader, Darth Bane, Ajunta Paul, and Crate?
I don't hate that list. I really don't.
I get very confused because there's so many moving pieces in this. I get very confused with a lot of the.
And 4 that's a lot. That's not a lot of spaces, Yeah. So when I want to do Mount Rushmore, I'm thinking of like the founding fathers, and to me, those essentially are founding fathers. Outside of like, if I'm not putting Crate, maybe I'm putting Exar Kun because I'm biased, but I think you have all the pieces there that show you this is the story of the Sith.
That's a good take.
I like that.
Yeah. I get confused a lot with like Ajunta Paul and Friedenod and
Yes,
Mark
yeah.
Aragnos. Like all,
Yes, great
like,
characters.
I'm
Absolutely.
like, Lord, how many of these guys?
Marco Ragnos is a fantastic pick too, because if you don't put a Junta Pol on there, I'm asking him because he's all through over there. He talks with Naga Sadao. He helps Exarchun fall to. Oh shit! You know, I may put Marco Ragnos on there. I'm not gonna lie. He makes Exarchun fall.
I kind of like that.
Yeah, and then on top of that, he's also there in with Luke Skywalker with his with his staff and everything and everything after Deshaun and Jarek. Damn, Marco Ragnos is pretty sick. I'm not gonna lie.
I kind of vibe with that more. Again, that's also because of personal bias of like going to his tomb in KOTOR, and then of course Jedi Academy. Like that's the whole plot is like Marco Ragnos coming back and stuff like that. You know, so
important. The only thing I wouldn't say is I would have to. Yeah, he's not as early as a Junta Pol, but the legacy is so important because the Sith people are essentially being diluted. You know, their legacies being diluted. But I think Mark Aragnos is the perfect character who's trying to still hold it up all together and poison the minds of these fallen Jedi and Force users. I don't hate that. That's very Sith. I think that might be a founding father. Yeah, for sure.
So instead of
instead of a Junta Paul,
okay,
I'm putting Mark Aragnos. Yeah, step on up, son.
I dig that. I think I like that. Like again, that story of the Sith, these founding fathers. Yeah.
Ragnos is also like one of the most bad looking bad guys of all time.
Dude, he's so sick, man. Gosh,
like he looks like a Power Rangers villain.
Dude, I love it. Yeah, like Lord Zed type shit. Yeah.
He really does like fit that category.
He's so cool. They all do. That's why I love Tales of the Jedi, man. Those comics are so sick. I don't know what they were cooking, man, but they were cooking.
It's
He's
crazy.
Like a Power
all
Rangers
of that lore.
villain and like Trigon put together from Teen
Titans. Yes. Yeah.
It's pretty sick.
But blue.
Yeah. I think it's a good list. I think we've done a lot of good work here today, gentlemen.
Yeah, that was tough work. I mean, we're gonna get killed either way, but I think that's a great freaking list. Yeah.
Someone's
one thing you never write on the internet, baby.
Not immediately. You got to roll with the punches, you know. Don't do that to me. I'm like literally like hearing
Grayson, that sounded like it was outside your house.
Yeah. Oh my god. Oh, and my house
Grayson,
has gone
somebody
now.
Somebody just launched cartoon Acme dynamite from outside of your house.
Dude, it was from the.
Oh yeah,
that's the inside of Grayson's head right now. Hearing the sound effects.
I hate that.
They're gonna get him. They're gonna get him.
Oh no.
And that's a good end to our story, guys.
Wow.
I'm sorry. I apologize.
Okay. At this point, you're just hitting every single button, dude.
But they all made sense. They all made sense. Okay, let's wrap this up, dude.
Darius, Lord Dagavir, tell everybody where they can find you. Where can they get more of your stuff at?
Absolutely. At Lord Dagavir, anywhere on the internet, you will see my face talking about Star Wars. I have shorts. I have shorts in my closet. I have shorts uploaded on YouTube every single Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, as well as other platforms like TikTok and Instagram. And then Inside the Dark Temple, I'll Drummond Cost the stream every Tuesday, 8 p.m. Baby. I'll see you there
tomorrow. You can see more of him tomorrow.
Back to back, baby.
I'm sure you'll talk about a lot of the stuff that we also talked about as well, just expanding on it because you'd be doing that. But dude, thank you for coming on. Seriously, this was a very
loved it, man.
Our stream has run long, but it's always fun to get into this sort of stuff because we're in that slow season of Star Wars, and so it's fun to get into the weeds about like the more niche stuff, especially expanded universe. You know, it's always fun to dive into.
Yeah, I would love it all, man. You guys have the right energy. I was so glad you guys reached out to me. I'm down to do this again whenever you guys want to do it. If you guys don't have anyone, just hit me up, man. I will love to yap until you don't want me to yap.
we will absolutely do it. We love getting people back on. But that is going to be it for this week. Episode 66 of Determined Focus.
Crazy.
Insane timing. We'll be back next week. Correct, Will?
Yeah.
Same Dune place, same Dune.
No, can't do that. May the Force be with you, but more importantly, your focus determines your reality.
Bye-bye.
Always remember.